Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is June 23rd, 2026. We've been gone for a while. It's good to be back. Just this is still a bit of a mess. Yeah, we've been out all last week. Apologies. I don't have a really good way to communicate that sort of stuff when like we're not gonna be around. I got sick last week. It was my birthday, and I had some family come in. Not this weekend, but the weekend prior. And from that, unfortunately, I got sick, and so we missed Tuesday stream last week. My voice was not very good. I had a headache. I was not in a great spot. And then we missed Thursday stream, and then Wednesday I stream Arkham Horror. We missed all that. And so then like Thursday night or Friday morning, I wake up and I think I'm like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I can maybe do a stream. And so Friday afternoon, I do streaming on a different channel where we play Marvel Champions, and we did that. And then I woke up Saturday feeling terrible again. I think I just overdid it and extended too much. My throat was really bad. Same cycle happens on Sunday. I wake up on Sunday. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually feeling pretty good. And then I do it again and I stream for a bit on Sunday. And then Monday again, I feel like terrible. So you probably hear from my voice, I'm still not in good spirits and good health. It's a Tuesday. So what I promised myself today is we're going to be talking a lot less, and we're not going to be streaming for that much longer. We're probably only going to stream for like 2 hours maybe. And it's mostly going to be gameplay, as much as, you know, Tuesdays usually are a bit of a talk show, and it'd be fun to catch up on stuff. We've been gone for a while. But yeah, I've been a bit under the weather and not in the greatest spirits, and so we'll see. It sucks to miss this sort of stuff, right? But like, if I can't talk, I can't do this sort of stuff. So we got to take care of ourselves. That's clearly the thing I can't do, is decide to be like, I'm not going to stream for a bit and take care of myself. So that's great, I guess. Hey, Deluvian, welcome back. Thank you. Hey, Shadow. Hey, Andre. Hey, Aurora. Hey, happy Tuesday. It's been a week. It's been a week since we've not done any Netrunner, and it feels weird. Hey, Beepix. How's it going? How's what's Wednesday like? Lucy commenting, holy title pull. It was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, like and subscribe was a really good stream name. I mean, really, 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 really good. But it's only downhill from here. I wanted to make a stream name about us being quiet and not talking a lot, like the hush hush. But we've had so many stream titles recently where we've been like doing stealth. So I'd be very clear to be like, this is not a stealth deck, not necessarily. Yo, Phil, what's up? Blessed Tuesday stream. I listened to the podcast just recently, and let me tell you, it's so nice to hear Sam go off on Melee SU the exact same way that I've been going off on Melee SU now for a month and a half. It's really nice to hear that, because people are like, yeah, I totally agree with that. I'd be like, yo, man, I've been there for a while. That's good. Hey, Ninja, the Quiet Space. Kind of the Quiet Space. That's a film though, but I think that was one of the considerations. How you doing? Hopefully everyone's been well. It's been warm here. It's been rainy this last week. My partner was off at a convention, so it was just me at home, and I can't go out because I'm under the weather. So I just been sitting at home and like, I guess playing card games. I played a whole lot of Deadlock. I don't know if that's a healthy thing to be doing, but it passes the time, that's for sure. We're still in Megacities season. There's a lot of Megacities that are wrapping up. I think Megacities probably goes to the end of this month, maybe even a bit further. I'm not 100% sure, but things are like really, really structured of when they need to start and when they need to end. So there's a couple results that we can look at. But again, I need to be very careful that we're not spending too much time just like straight talking on a Tuesday afternoon. Like I've already said more words in the last 2 minutes than I have all day. That's probably obvious. So yeah, that's not good. I guess we can do some quick checks. I checked in a bit with Jai on Sunday. There was the Manila Megacities, which I'm assuming they had a fair few players. Yeah, Philippines Megacity Championship, 25 players, not too bad. I'm not mistaken, Jai took us and went totally undefeated, which is not at all a surprise. Wow, does the meta there in the top cut look a bit anarch heavy? And mind you, Shaper is still winning events, but if you look at this event, there was like 4 Shapers in 25, and unfortunately conversion isn't there. But yeah, that's kind of what you'd expect a fair bit. Yeah, it's interesting. The other side of it's a bit varied. I think Wayland looks like it's not doing too much based off of what we're seeing really quickly, but it's not the biggest event, of course. I do think these lists that Jai are playing are probably not particularly flashy. They usually aren't. So measured response Ayuko, and I mean that like Jai usually plays fundamental stuff really, really well. Is not really playing some weird stuff usually. Holloman and Ayuko, it's cool. It fires off of the Regenesis for sure. This one is running the Fujis and running a lot more agendas, a lot of the small stuff. But yeah, that seems kind of what you'd expect. Just played in the Mega City last week and got 2-4 wins. Yeah, you were here, BBX, right? 2 wins, 4 losses. That's pretty good. There's a lot of sharks out there. So I think you did well. I think the most important thing is, did you have a good time? Did you meet people? How was that? Hey, Dr. Veroctor arrived at my FLGS to play Netrunner a little early. What best way to pass the time than watching Andre? Hey, enjoy your I get take it at this point it's a Tuesday evening, huh? Your Tuesday evening Netrunner. We'll be around for a while, right? I finally broke Hey Duckland and played a bunch of LSU. Recursion is wild, eh? Yeah, again, we mentioned this. Sam was talking about Melia's U ability being a bit, annoying and a bit much and a bit omnipresent. And if you call it wrong, it feels awful. And I feel like that too. I don't know. I worry that we're like kind of getting to the point where people are going to start using Melia's U to do the bad stuff. Like it's already a really powerful ability, like recurring, an Anoetic or a Charlotte or a Lacosta or a Seamless. Like all of these things are game winning on the spot, which means like why interact? I don't know. A lot of times not interacting seems like the more smart thing to do, and then risking it, like just give them a credit. But I think we're just like kind of getting there where now it's going to be like Melias decks that are recurring big deal. Or like, because why not, I guess. Or Melias decks recurring measured, or Melias decks recurring, Oppo research. These sort of things that are like meant to be single-handedly win conditions. And mind you, 2 of these cards are supposed to have a trash cost on them for a reason. So we'll see if that's a thing. Hey, Warlock, Mezzi hosted an Eternal event in the weekend. We all had a blast. How'd that go? Was it it's like the first big Eternal tournament in the new format, right? Are the results up on ABR? I'd be really interested to see what the new cards did to Eternal. For those who don't know, who don't follow the Eternal Super League, which was really fun this year, just like last year, the Eternal Super League like happened in the middle of the launch of Vantage Point, so they did not like fold in any of the new cards because they decided that would be a bit too disruptive, which I get that. Can we find it? Yeah. Eternal side event, is that it? Is that it? I'm assuming it's not. Hey Tom, how's it going? The Eternal event was so good. Mezzi's a great host and commentator. So I take it's not on here. It was like streamed. Where can I find it? Also lazy, how's it going? I've been putting ScapeNet and Measured in Sisyphus. I've landed 4 ScapeNets and 2 Measures in a single game. It's I've seen things you would not believe. It's gross. Yeah, I could see that for sure. And I think we're always in a ScapeNet meta. It's whether people want to play it or not, or like think they need to play it. Been around for a while. It's hot here in Watford, just north of London, but D20 Board Game Cafe is air conditioned. Oh yeah, I hear it's like quite hot in the UK this like last little while. So any space they can hang out in is air conditioned is an absolute like treat. Had a blast, got baptized by the horrors of Thule in one of my games. I take it you're not familiar with Thule can do. In fact, I'm not 100% sure what Thule can do. Oh, I'm assuming you played against the Thule, just like never advanced Thule, because somebody was playing, was it Lunari? But somebody was playing the Thule, but with Vulture Fund in it. I think it was here. Where did I see it? I saw Vulture Fund Thule recently. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it was just PD core damage. I'm not sure. So maybe I'm wrong about that. The event is called AstroScript Delivery System. It's up there on the page. Thank you. Let me check it out. I'm not feeling very sharp. Okay. AstroScript Delivery Service number 2. Very cool. Contact-based bread woman. We have our AstroScript art up there from Matt Zellinger. Sick art. It's been around for a long time. Welcome to the second event of AstroScript Delivery Service, an online Eternal Focus tournament series. Very cool. So we got a whole bunch of people coming out and playing Eternal. If you're not aware, Eternal is a format where like you can play with the whole card pool. It has its own pseudo ban list. It does technically have a ban list, but cards are worth points. And so if you want to put in a playset of a card, certain cards, you have to spend points out of your budget, and you have 7 points to spend. Number wang. So yeah, we're seeing Max. That's always cool to see. Max is always the most fun. Super modern outfit. Minstrel's playing this. I wonder what kind of death it's slinging. A Warlock is playing Replicating Depression. Woof. I'm assuming this is Acid Spam. This is just probably good. Wizard, I'm guessing. Reality Plus, you can play Go Directly to Jail, Do Not Pass Go. And we have Mulch on the next life playing a Max as well. And I guess we'll look at these 2 as well. Interesting. I don't know if I would expect like, these IDs to be here at the top. So I'm not sure if people went another way to do weird stuff for sure. Yeah, Vulture PD's out. Yo, Diogene, how's it going from Lunar? Yeah, I thought I saw that. So basically it's just like the fast advance, core damage PD. However, it's instead of playing your digital life, which classically they did, it's just playing Vulture Fund, which like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That is a deck that definitely wants to be playing ScapeNet. 70 Eternal. So the 70 card max deck. It's on Knob Curry. Man, you missed these old cards. Knob Curry was this massive 3 cost or sorry, 3MU virus console, that whenever you made a successful run, or sorry, the first time you made a successful run, you got to put a virus on a virus program, a virus counter, which is really quite good. Blue Moose is I'm pretty sure a pointed card in Eternal. It's a staple. It just says get 2 credits every turn. I can't believe this card was printed in Standard for a while. It's weird to think about that, but this card was just printed into Standard, not an issue. It was an issue. If you're not familiar with the bin breakers, these were around for such a long time, and these were breakers that had reasonable numbers. One of them was really, really good, but you could install them from your heap. And if you're not familiar with Max, Max is an absolute treat. It says, she says at the beginning of your turn, you trash 2 from the top of your deck and you draw 1. And it's cool that you can play that with Lago to get like a lot of trash forward action. And you know, hey, you have 70 cards, you have 1 Levy. You also have Rebirth, which is good if you want to stop milling. That can make sense. Levy is the functionally like the proto Ashen Epilogue, a lot cleaner text. It was a shaper card. And then of course you have 3 Simul Chip and 2 Clone Chip, which is awesome. You have a lot of recursion. Eternal can seem intimidating, but it's really fun. The GLC channel is super welcoming to anyone who wants to try it. I committed absolute crimes with that Corp deck. You kids really having a hard time, isn't it? Yeah, they are. It's like very, very hot, and it's getting hotter, it seems, year after year. Citation needed. But the problem is like a lot of the places are not fitted. Residential places are not fitted with air conditioning, and like heat will get you for sure. It's playing both? Oh, YDL and what's it called? Oh, I'm surprised it's playing both, but you can. Cool. Hey, Robo, hot from Hot UK. Hey, hopefully you're staying cool, huh? Yeah, neat. Progenitor is also a cool card. It hosts viruses and the virus can't be fully purged. I'm assuming we're on Hive Mind. This card's also really, really strong. I do think this did win Worlds one time. Did my Virus Max actually win Worlds? I don't think it did. Good Stuff Max did. I'm not sure if Virus Max actually won Worlds, but it was a very, very, very good deck. I'm not convinced it won Worlds. But this is a 2MU program. Yeah, I don't think it did. Man, there was a while that like Hive Mind Max is one of the best decks in the format. Yo, Axu, how's it going? Yeah, I don't think it did either, but it was like a very, very tricky to play deck that was championed by a certain subsection of mostly European players. And it was an absolute treat to see like NWE playing Hive Mind Max because it has so many decision points. The way that you had like Max, you know, filling up your second hand, your bin, your Hive Mind was usually I don't think it was a 3 of ever in the deck. I'm not even sure if it was a 2 of, but it was this combo piece. And it says the counters on this are considered to be virus counters on all your installed cards. So we had virus breakers, that the amount of counters they had on them, that you could use them to break ice with Amakua. It's just like really, 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 really cool. Big Max is so much better than HMM, Hive Mind Max. I mean, I think Big Max is so much easier to play, but Hive Mind Max is like one of the most interesting Netrunner decks at a high level, period. It was like so cool to watch. Especially because it had all these like one-shot uses. Like the deck was unironically playing that thing that dereses from the core set. I forget the name because you don't see it a lot. The Sleepy Snake, right? Like that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat that that actually sees play. Daojen, you want to send me some jank you can bring to Nats this weekend? It's Calgary Nationals. Yeah, Canada has 3 megacities, which is super, super wild. The megacities are kind of feeling like regionals, I think. But yeah, Canada has 3 of them. So we had 1 in Toronto, we had 1 in Vancouver just a couple weeks ago, and now there's 1 in Calgary. So if you're out there, enjoy it. Tranquilizer, thank you. I mean, that card is pretty powerful if you instant derez shit. Oh yeah, exactly. If you have the one card in the game that allows you to instant derez stuff, it's pretty good. Early iteration of Eternal Outfit 9 that lets you gain 10 credits and make the money trivial. The deck should probably find slots for Arc Lockdown. Love that card. And Trojan Horse. Love that card. So this is just playing regulatory capture and scoring out, having hard-hitting news. And if you float too many tags, you get boomed. I mean, this is like surprisingly straightforward. That it's wild to see that this can actually compete at Eternal tables. That is super, super surprising. One of Tributary is also kind of fun too, because it's like not super necessary, but like it's such a good card. Yeah, cool. You can also play Cookbook and Grimoire. Yeah, but don't you have to like simul chip it into the right window, right? Like you have to do it at the start of turn. Oh, with Grimoire. Yeah. With Grimoire, you can do it. You're right. You can. Yeah, but those decks didn't even play Grimoire because you couldn't. But yeah, Grimoire actually is a cool card you can play. Okay, no surprise. Warlock was on assets. Yeah, Sensi's, this card is so absurdly busted. It's wild to see some of these cards, right? Like in Eternal, you have the whole card pool, but these cards were unironically released into Standard back in the day. Like this card is so absurd. 0 cost political. We still have political cards in the format. Largely, you don't want to ice them. When your turn begins, you may draw 3 cards if there's no ice protecting this server. So start a turn, draw 3. For 0, okay? If you do, add 1 card from HQ to the bottom of R&D. And it doesn't have to be a card that you drew this way. So how good is this card? And the answer is it's one of the best cards ever printed. Man, this card is so absurdly good. If it fires once, largely the corporation goes up +2 cards and puts an agenda on the bottom of the deck, which means it's largely out of the game. like bottom of R&D is like the safest place in the whole game, barring some sort of space station you can host things on. Yeah, this card's absolutely nonsense. And usually you play this in asset spam decks, which like just drawing 2 cards and then mandatory draw means you can spam out 3 more assets. Again, there is a wild period of time where the power level of cards that were released in FFG standard were like such a huge jump between the strongest and the weakest. I mean, the core set technically had that, but it felt less weird than this. Like we had so many cards like this. Historically, this whole cycle was a bit of a collapse for a lot of the FFG player base back in 2015. This was like the Mumbad cycle. Because as you might see from this list, the Mumbad cycle just had so many cards that directly supported asset spam, and asset spam became the predominant way that the game was played competitively, and a lot of people did not like that at all. And yeah, I get that. A lot of people did attrition out of the game, unfortunately, during Mumbad. You can find a lot of people that got out of the game or got back in the game after leaving from Mumbad and come back in NSG times. But Mumbad, for those who don't know, is a really weird time. There's so many cards like this, like 5 trash cost. This had Alliance, which means it costs no influence if you're playing, you know, clone suffrage movement, or usually you're playing team sponsorship, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just nonsense. Yeah, Mumbad assets were built different. And for what it's worth, like there was something to say about that, like that was good. Like assets classically did not matter for the first part of the game to some extent, besides like Near Earth Hub. It's like there's a lot of decks that just ran, you know, 3 Spin Doctors, 3 what's it called, Adonis campaigns, and they called it a day. And then this whole cycle had some of the best assets we've ever seen, and some of them were just like straight win conditions. Like this political card just says do 1 net damage if it's not iced, and so recurring this and making this harder to trash through non-ice ways was a grinder win condition that was like super prevalent. So yeah, Mumbad was a really weird time. It was not a good time for the game in terms of the health of the player base. One used to be able to trank D-res every turn with a 4-card combo in Padma, but we don't have District 99. Just to get it back every turn. Hey, Brennan, how's it going? Fun facts outside of Eternal might not know. Jaina has a unique sound for Tributary. Ooh, for it being res or for it moving? That's cool. I don't play Jaina with sound effects that I don't even know which stuff has sound effects. And mind you, like this card. Oh my god, this card. This happened after Mumbad. But a 2 cost to 1 influence card that just says install 2 cards from archives is... like, you can tell how this is a problem, right? Like, imagine the runner spends 5 credits trashing a Jeeves, 5 credits trashing a hostile architecture, and then you spend a click and 2 to bring them back. It's wild. This card was like so frustrating, and it's 1 influence. It just says install 2 things from archives. Could be ice, and you ignored it. You did pay install costs, but like it still could be ice, but it's usually assets. Shout out to Blacklist straight up winning me 2 games by itself. Oh yeah, tech is really strong in Eternal. It feels like it's way stronger than in standard in Eternal. Or like, yeah, if Max is a big part of the field, saying cards can't leave the heap, it's really good. That's the part of the Eternal that like I don't like so much, is that there's so much hard tech. And a lot of the hard tech is the sort of hard tech that existed back in the day that just says you can't do the thing you want to do. And that sort of like negative play experience gets me a bit hesitant at interacting with Eternal. It's probably not as bad as I think it is, but maybe it's just because I want to play Geist and somebody plays an employee strike and the whole game falls apart. Or not an employee strike, plays a, what's it called? Scarcity, and the whole game falls apart. Hey, good morning, Changeling. How's it going? Nice work stream. Oh, yeah, I see. I read that as nice work stream, but it's a good work stream. It's good to hear. Hopefully you've been well. Yeah, anyways, Eternal's really cool. Generally the Eternal casting has been very good at making Eternal approachable. So if you want to just like see a bigger card pool and see weird things happening super consistently, yeah, gotta play 6 current Geist. I mean, eventually Augustus got there, but like, man, it's not fun when you just can't play your hand. There's a lot of cards that say you can't do things. Like, man, this card too, 5 trash cost, 1 res. You can't draw more than 2 cards a turn. I mean, there's a lot of decks that can do more than 2 damage a turn. Like, yeah, things are really weirdly built different. There was a very noticeable change between the end of FFG and the beginning of NSG, in which trash costs of asset have gone down. So you see a lot more like 2 trash cost assets that have the powerful effect on a card back in the day that could have been a 4 trash cost or a 5 trash cost. That being said, we still see decks that have on average 3 to be the trash cost of most of their cards, and some of that's done intentionally through deck building, but it is coming down for sure. I think playing against hard tech is very rewarding, but I can see it being frustrating. Depends on how hard the tech is. I guess it can be rewarding, but it's like rewarding in a way that Netrunner generally isn't, right? Like, it reminds me so much more of Magic the Gathering, where like somebody floats 2 mana and then you play a card and they counterspell it, right? Like the idea is that it's like a total different game design and has a different sort of like I don't know. It's not how Netrunner usually feels. Where Netrunner is usually about interaction on the table as opposed to interaction from hand and like hard counters. Yeah, so like people are okay with that. People play Magic the Gathering all the time, but playing a spell that just says your text box is blank until you can find your own spell that says it might not blank, it's like it doesn't line up with how. Yeah, if it's legit on the wheel, there's no point in playing anymore. Yeah, it can get that bad. Hey, Galehar, assets were expensive to trash because of Wizard. I think there's some truth to that, but it's not entirely true. So like Wizard was the third or second Anarch. I think the second Anarch to come out, and Wizard was a joke. For the longest point in time, Wizard was an absolute joke. Because as I said, there was a majority of Netrunner decks in the early meta where Wizard existed that had like 3 to 6 cards that had a trash cost on them. And one of them was Spin Doctor, which, not Spin Doctor, but Jackson Howard, which was a modern Spin Doctor, that if it was on the table, usually the corporation just popped it anyways. So Wizard was just the laughing stock. And then eventually, once we got to the Mumbad cycle specifically, where there was decks that had like 21 cards with the average trash cost of like 4, Wizard became super, super, super meta. And then for about 4 to 5 years, Wizard was like the best Anarch. Arguably, Valencia was similar. Valencia just gave you 1 bad publicity, which is basically kind of Wizard-like in certain matchups. But Wizard like was very, 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 very good. Now, I don't actually want to say that the trash costs existed because of Wizard, because the trash costs were big before Wizard became prominent. I think Wizard was one of the ways you could deal with the trash costs, but I don't think the designers are like, we have to make the trash costs big because Wiz exists. I don't think that's true. It's more so that Wizard saw play because the trash costs were big. You know what I mean? Quiet as the Lynx in Earthborn Rangers. Stone goes after image coincidence. Hey, Stun, yeah. Quiet is so powerful. Oh my god. Quiet has saved so many campaigns. I open the video and get absolutely jump scared by Wizard. I mean, you're at home. You're with good company. Our master gamer here, Milanomi, how's it going? Meeth here also. How you doing? Acids were just expensive to trash in Mumbad. It was a set design that was in retrospect mistake. Yeah, it had nothing to do with Wizard. Like Miss Bones was printed way later, and I think Miss Bones is the sort of thing like we had to respond to acid trash costs. This was printed in the last FFG set, and it's a 2-cost card that gives you 12 credits. So a click for 10 for trashing installed cards. Right? Like we were in a bad spot for trashing cards. So you're a criminal specifically. Wizard and CI both went from jokes to powerhouses. Weird time. Yeah, cerebral imaging was similar. When it came out, it was like, this is nonsense. And then for many different metas, it was the best thing, and it won Worlds. Wizards died because he was meta. I mean, he floated 2 tags, Brennan. That was his fault. I think Mistbones and Crim Econ probably caused power creep more than Wiz did in hindsight. Yeah, I'm not super concerned about Wizard when it comes to that. But Wizard was super important in the meta, that's for sure. Hey, Sasimi, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, man. I kind of want to miss Bones like back in Criminal. I would love to see what a modern Criminal card that helps you trash cards are. Because there's so many of these cards that like seem like they would be good. Like if Red Team could not only go on Centrals, oh my god, I'd be so happy. But yeah, there's not a lot of criminal ways to deal with assets in the modern meta besides like dirty laundering or clean getawing. And that's a bit risky too. This is the week I booked the stay for Worlds. I'm hype. Oh, hell yeah. Are you playing or are you volunteering? Where you don't have to say where you're staying because obviously that's weird. But are you trying to stay like downtown? Are you staying with friends? How's that going? For those who don't know, early bird tickets for Worlds, which is here in Montreal, down the street, is they end in, I think, like a week. So if you want to get the early bird tickets, which is cheaper and all that, you have until the 30th, I'm pretty sure. You should get those in sooner than later for obvious reasons. But if you're looking into things, I think this is the time where you really have to consider it because you can still buy tickets later. It wasn't even the Wizard was really good. It was just the assets became both very strong and high trash costs. And if you couldn't deal with them, you just lost. The enter cards were ID neutral. Yeah. Like, you played Wizard, you got 3 credits a turn. So you played Wizard. That's the way I see it. Hey, Claim, how's it going? PBD but probably dropped a volunteer. Worlds is in Montreal. I've heard good things about Montreal, Axu. I'm very excited to see you, and then we can go out for a put-in, and it'll be really nice. You can show me all the nice knitting you've done. Hey, Joel. Also, I too have my hotel staying just on the southeast side of the con center. Oh, you're staying in like proper Oldport. That's a bougie neighborhood, so well done. It's quite nice. It's like the touristy area. Whenever I open maps, I'm worried it's gonna like just straight dox me. So hold on. I mean, I guess we're in. Yeah, that was kind of accurate. So for those who don't know, Montreal. The World Championship is down here at this. There's a convention center right here called the Palais de Congrès, the Palace of Congress. So this is nice. The things around here that you need to know about is that this area here, so you see the Notre Dame Basilica, which is a gorgeous, you know, church. Ooh, 3D, all nice and nice. But this is the part of Montreal with the quays and all this sort of thing. This is like the old school Montreal, like old Montreal as people call it, which is the tourist destination for a lot of people to go walking. Specifically if you're a North American and you've never seen like a European style city with like cobblestone streets, because these are like the buildings that have been around here for 200 years, right? It's very pretty. It's very much worth going to walk around for sure. So like this is Le Vieux Montréal, Old Montreal. This is where a lot of people walk around cobblestone streets. It has expensive restaurants and stuff because it's for tourists. And there's also like the center strip here with the Jacques Cartier, where there's like a subway and all the stuff that like, you know, children and tourists that are not too ambitious, like there'll be stuff for you, I guess. But other parts of Montreal that are definitely worth seeing. Downtown proper, if you want to go like city shopping and all that sort of stuff, is this area. We ran our Continentals around here, around Concordia University. Was it last year at this point? I'm a big fan. If you want to go to like Montreal and have this sort of trendy kind of like hipster thing, go up here. This is called the Miland and the Plateau. This is where like the bagels are from. This is where there's a lot of great food. This park here, if you can go on a Sunday, has the largest outdoor consistent gathering. It's called Tam Tams. It's quite nice. Find the Wikipedia for Tam Tams. Again, Les Tam Tam du Montréal. Can I get this in English? Is again one of the largest outdoor gatherings every Sunday. There's people out here. There's drum circles. It's just like sick. Like Montreal is such a nice city that really celebrates being outside and culture and art, and it's great. So like this area is fantastic. So there's a lot of things within the area. You can't go wrong. And very importantly, when it comes to Montreal, we have a very good public metro system. So we have a subway. Oh, mind you, Chinatown's also just around here. Like this is Palais de Congrès. We have a small Chinatown. It's basically up Saint Laurent, and then there's one like side path around here. It's nice if you want to find food or stuff like that. That's good. But yeah, it's Montreal's a wild city. It's really, really good. It's Shay, by the way. Can I play a Terabad Jank deck against you at some point? Yeah, for sure. We're gonna be playing some Netrunner today. How much French do I need to know to survive Montreal? 0. Montreal, you can get by with 0 French. There's a bunch of people who've grown up in the city of Montreal that speak 0 French, and it's totally fine. Specifically, like Montreal is an island. This part is called West Island. This is like super, super Anglo territory. So like you start to see the names go to like Kirkland and Beaconsfield. Like this is where Anglos live. Fairview, right? As soon as you get to other parts, it gets a bit more French. Saint-Michel Parc Extension, like that becomes a bit more French. But like my French is not very good. I get by totally fine in the city. If as a tourist, you can come in and they can just say like salut, merci, stuff like that, like the basic stuff that we can go over in October before you go there, people will be happy. But as soon as you start speaking in French, 99% of the time, people will hear that you don't have a Quebecois accent. They'll be happy that you're trying, and then they'll just go in English, because that's fine. Oh, Goblin d'Argent, that's a silver goblin. That's where we usually do events. So like, don't stress about it at all. But doing the basics is good, but you can get by. The city is in bilingual by like a huge mile. If you go outside of Montreal and you go to the rest of Quebec, yeah, you're going to have issues. Like if you go out to Quebec City, you can kind of get by because it's a tourist area. But say you go up to like Saguenay and you don't speak French, like, yeah, it's not going to be good for you. But yeah, Montreal is bilingual. Almost like, especially the downtown area. I wouldn't be stressed about it. Hey, Lucy. It's far more expensive with traveling with fam, so we need a nice walkable place. I mean, you nailed it. This is a very nice walkable place. Don't apologize for that. We had to cancel locals because every single venue we could use is booked for footy related reasons. Oh yeah, or a single dance class. So I actually get to be here for Tuesday stream. Oh, sorry that it fell through. Yeah, I guess it is soccer right now, huh? Or football, excuse me. Heard good things about Montreal neighborhood too. Montreal? Yeah, Montreal. That's this sort of like kind of area if we're on the same place. Beaconsfield, please tell me that's how you say that. Yeah, it's Beaconsfield. It's English. I'm just going to make Brandon Pokemon battle my French. I don't know how Brandon's French is. It's probably okay. I live down the road from the OG Beaconsfield and it's Beaconsfield. Oh yeah, I've never heard that. I've always heard this called Beaconsfield. I've never heard anyone say it differently. What if our only French is Pierre Escargot from All That? I don't know what half of those, like, I don't know what all that is. What is all that? You can order Escargot in Montreal. You can get there. Brandon's French is not good. So he has like an Ontario's French. Like, yeah, he comes from Ontario. He probably has similar French than I did when I lived in Ontario. He'll be fine. He'll be totally fine. Like the one thing, if you get a menu and you're at a restaurant, you can ask for an English menu. They'll probably look at you and give you an English menu. But like, it's easy. It was SNL for kids on Nickelodeon back in the day. Oh, okay. I didn't grow up with cable, so there's a lot of like television stuff that goes over my head. Apologies. But Montreal is just beautiful. It's such an incredible city. It's like really nice that people can come see Montreal. The summer is particularly special. Like right now, we have a bunch of festivals all the time, and here in the Quartier de Spectacle, this is like where Place des Arts is. But like we have the Jazz Fest, we have Comedy Fest. That's just for laughs. There's so much stuff going on in the summer. Most people below 35 old can speak at least passable English even outside of Montreal, but as always, your mileage may vary. Yeah, the further you go, the more of a gamble it is. But like I would definitely open with French outside of Montreal. In Montreal, you can open with English, it's fine. Do you know where in the convention center the event will be? It's large. No, I don't know if we know because I don't think it's announced yet. I think the way that it is held up or like it's structured is that what space they have will depend on how many tickets they sell. So if they sell too many tickets, I think they get a bigger space, but I'm not 100% sure what the space is. For those who don't know, the Palais de Congrès is massive. I think we pulled up their website a while ago, and like it's like 7 floors. They have even like things on the roof that you can book out. Yeah, there's actually like a garden on the roof, which is really cool. But I couldn't tell you where it is. I don't think they've announced it. As soon as they do, we'll know. It's a Comic-Con de Montreal. It's soon in July. Or sorry, 3rd of August to 5th of July. That doesn't make any sense. Juillet is July. Oh, AU is not August. It's O. That means from to. So it's the 3rd to the 5th of July. Excuse me. That's not. That means that's a French word. It's a super common French word. Well, I'll be fine. Anyways, yeah. I have only been to Comic-Con once. I've been to Palais Congrès a couple times. It's nice. It's a conference. It's a modern conference space. It's nice. Or not a convention space, not a conference space. It's good, but I don't know the space. Hey, Delbob, how's it going? Congratulations on doing some cool stuff with Padma. I don't know. I've seen some of the Padma lists. I know that like Cable was playing one, and I think the list was better than a lot of people think it is. That was a version that had cacophony in it, which I'm not sure yours did. I've been out for a bit, so apologies. But I do think it was like a good meta decision, and the deck is not. It's like not a joke, which is kind of cool. Have you played Marathon? The vibe is super Netrunner. No, I haven't played Marathon. I'm not a big like loot or like extraction shooter person. I guess the vibe is kind of Netrunner-y, but I understand it to be a bit different with like the synthetic shells for humans. Cacophony list is bad. I mean, that's the glowing review we all want, right? Any hotels we should look at? Shadow, this question is always so awkward because people ask any hotels because you live in the city, but because I live in the city, I literally have never been to a hotel in Montreal. I've never stayed in a hotel in Montreal, so I couldn't tell you. I was looking at some of the numbers, and like you can see what the prices are in, you know, for the future. You can kind of tell this area down here is going to be expensive by design because this is the old port. This is like can get very pricey very quickly. Also, downtown in the city can get very expensive very quickly. If you can find a hotel somewhere down here in like what's this area called? What's the name for this? There's a name for it. But if you can find like somewhere down here, like the village is, mind you, this is the village, the gay village. It's quite a nice place. Parts of it kind of feel like it fell apart during the pandemic, but I think it's going back. It's really quite cute. There's a lot of nice lights. It's a really, really cool center. There's a lot of nice bars and places to hang out. But if you go further down east to, what's this place? Yeah, to Hochelaga. Like all this sort of stuff is on the metro line. Can I just show you the metro lines? So if you can find something that's cheaper that is like 10 to 15 minutes away on the metro, just do that. Like you don't need to be next to the place because I'm assuming all the places next to the place are going to be expensive. I just want to see a map of the metro lines if they can just Google show them. But in short, there's a metro line going here, and there's a metro line going here. So you're always very connected, so no stress. I need to figure out if I can afford to do worlds. Lucy, I hope it works out. Whatever makes sense, makes sense. You know about Run Together, of course. So do it as you will. If you go, I'll probably do a home exchange, so I might have a spare room. Very cool. You should set up a tent in the park. I don't think you're allowed to. The Phillips Square was decently priced and has rooms with stovetops. Oh, cool. The characters are called runners, and the corps have very unique and interesting lore. I know that the corps have, there's like a corp that, I've heard that there's one corporation that it's like some sort of death cult where because people just constantly reincarnate themselves in different like plastic shells, they want to kill for the sake of, I forget, but there was some like pseudo-religious thing. The gay village? Yeah, it's the gay village. Sleep under my playmat. We did really skip over the gay village? Yeah, it's the village. Wait, this is not a thing that cities have? Yeah, the village. Gay village, Montreal. It's been around forever. The Gay Village, often known as the village, is a neighborhood delineated by St. Catherine Street east of Akin Street in Ville-Marie Borough, Montreal, Quebec. It's a really fun place. It's cute. It has these like lovely lights over it. My mom. So when my sister graduated university, my mom came and she booked a hotel, not knowing in the Gay Village. And then she was going outside and we picked her up there and when she's walking around, she's like, this neighborhood's really nice. Everyone's so well put together and handsome, but like, where are all the women? It's mostly men. And we're like, Mom, you're in the Gay Village. She's like, oh, ooh, okay. But yeah, it's really funny. She's like, everyone here is so nice, but where are all the women? And like, there are, it's not just gay men in the Gay Village. There's queer folks of all sorts, but it was very funny. She was specifically in a very gay area. Yeah, Dallas is the gayborhood. Yeah. How many gay villages have you seen in other cities? Every city has a gay village. Toronto Gay Village. Wait, do we not do this in Europe? I mean, why wouldn't you? Chicago's Boys Town? Yeah, this is not uncommon. Yeah, the village. Like, a lot of places have a village. It's the name for it. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird that people find this to be surprising. We don't have a gay village in Reading. We just have Reading. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Montreal's great. Come check it out. That'd be good. The one big touristy thing that you definitely should do if you have the time, if climbing is a bit hard, there is paths up here that are a bit more gentle. But up here we have it has a really silly name, the Belvedere Adirondack or something. Not a silly name, but a name that nobody actually knows the name of. They just say it's up on the thing. It's probably a First Nations name is my guess, so it's a bit ignorant to call it silly. Apologies. But there's like this beautiful view. You can go onto the top of the mountain in the middle of Montreal that allows you to see across the city. Yeah. European cities have gay neighborhoods, but I've never heard the term gay village before. Hey, Annie. Yeah, that's what it's been called here. And there's definitely like a translation between French and English, but it's not super uncommon. I guess Boston would be P-Town as the combat zone isn't a thing anymore. I'm not sure that's an EU thing, but I'd like to be proven wrong. Yeah, many cities on the west coast of US. Gay village is a thing in Manchester for what it's worth. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Weddy. How you doing? Hopefully you've been well. I think next week in Montreal, we have a G&K on Tuesday that John is running. I'm going to try and make it out to that. But yeah, we've been a bit under the weather and we are continuing. It's probably this area. Yeah, this is the Condiarang. This is like the view that if you can go up, you can see across Montreal. It's quite nice. This is this like large battlement of sorts. Not technically for military, but you can see over the whole city. It's a lovely view. Especially yours will be looking a bit like this because it'll be October. So ideally you can see the change of the color of the trees, but it's a nice view over the whole city. Again, Montreal's an island, so you're surrounded by water, which is quite cute. This is one of the stairs up. It's nice. Like Montreal's nice. This is this is Leonard Cohen, who grew up in the city. Once he passed away, they commissioned this giant mural of Leonard Cohen. He's a musician and a poet. And an artist, I'm assuming, to some extent. I'm not going to play this video. But yeah, Montreal's lovely. I'm skipping over the gay neighborhood sex positive section of the Boston in the 70s was called the combat zone. Wild. Carrying the plague, but otherwise good. Yeah, me too. Hopefully you're doing okay. The lady has it worse than I, so I've been skipping Netrunner for a couple weeks. Hopefully I'll get a dose this stream. I mean, Weddy, I'm in the same boat. Maddie also was like quite under the weather the last couple days. So we're like, I shouldn't be streaming that long because every time I talk for a long period of time, I just make myself worse. So we'll be okay. Anywho, come to Montreal. I don't know where to stay, but all I want to like emphasize is you don't have to stay next to the venue. The Montreal Metro is so good and it's cheap. You can buy a weekend pass for like 20 bucks and you're good to go. So if you can find something that makes more sense, either west, east, or north, like do it. Definitely do it for sure. Drink lots to take care. You too. Thank you. Baserton was robbed from DECKLISTS of the week. Yeah, I'm surprised actually. I was looking at the numbers and I think Baserton like had the numbers to be the DECKLISTS of the week. And we'll talk about this more on Thursday. But like, I don't know how it works. Like 40-26. I don't know if anybody knows how this works. I guess you can find it out on the thing. Yeah, 45-24-13. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it didn't go this way. But Baserton's write-up actually is really interesting. And we'll talk about it more on Tuesday or on Thursday, excuse me. Because there's this sentence here that like I have felt for a long time. And I don't know if people talk about this. It's a hard thing to talk about it because it seems like calling out other people, but the idea is, yeah, sometimes some corpse make me feel gross and I don't want to do that to someone else at an event, even when that is not my problem, right? Like, and for what it's worth, is this deck gross? Maybe. It's up to you to say it. But like, this sentence is something that I know I've struggled with over time. And I feel like my ick meter has become more and more sensitive over the last like 5 years. Where, yeah, this has become more of a problem when it comes like, hey, do you want to bring this to a tournament? Do you want to play this on JNet? Do you want to do this and this? This is a harder sentence sometimes to deal with. I think the only icky corp I can think of is the decks like PD Kill. Yeah, I've like PD Killed. PD Combo is the sort of deck that I feel like I wouldn't. Well, the thing is like that one is weird to me. And this is why like everyone has to, you know, everyone has their own sort of, they have to convince themselves one way or another what they want to do. Like everyone has their own meters and their own value system, right? And mine is not better than yours. Yours is not better than anyone else's. Is like PD Combo in a tournament setting, I think it's kind of interesting because the combo is kind of interesting, right? Like we understand. Like I don't think I would feel that bad about playing PD Combo because it is an interesting weird deck, and for people to see it coming for sure. But like, never build remote server fast events. That is one that gets me. That one gets me really, really bad. Is FA specifically scoring from hand? I don't know what the oh, for this, yeah, fast events. So like just scoring agendas straight from hand, not leaving them on the table. I think I should find the Metro card. I think I still have money on it. I mean, that's if you bought like an actual Metro card, the card will not expire. But if you bought a card with tickets on them, it might have an expiration if it's a paper card. If it's a plastic card, it shouldn't expire. I can't outside the venue. If everyone is just chilling there, I can't jail all of us. I mean, they can try. I need to get Faulty Ice to write up their ED lists so that we can get the true best deck of the meta on deck this week. I think they were playing it a couple times on stream, but I never got to see a whole game. I swear I don't know how Baserton does so well with Blob. Every time I play it, it feels bad into Reglu, into like Big Op. Keeling Glacier was the first corp list I fell in love with, so I built my immunity to being hated for my corp choices very early and fast. I have more problems with drawing your deck than scoring 6-9 points, to be honest. Yeah, drawing your whole deck is weird. I'm not a tournament player. My priority is fun, not sweat, for sure. So if you're just going to play Netrunner for fun, your priorities are totally different because like everyone's here for fun. The problem is once you come to a tournament, you have an incentive structure to win. And then the incentive structure is to win at all costs. For some people, it's not at all costs, right? Like that's what this sentence is. There are some decks that are the best in the format that I will choose not to play because I don't think the cost is worth it. Right? Like I think the cost is too high to myself personally to play a given deck. I'm not saying this deck, right? But like that is a weird thing. It's not always the best. Some players, and this is not like, this is a totally neutral statement. This is not to like put anyone under a bus or anything. For some people, it is anything at all costs. I have noticed over the last couple of years, it has become less and less all costs, and I don't know why. Is that a lock and Epiphany Oppos are way more play? I don't know if I complain about Epiphany Oppos. Zato is a mean card. It is a mean card for sure. Yeah, but Epiphany seems like fine. PD players make a combo deck and Andre talks about much. It's a cool deck he wants to see in tournaments. Double makes a combo deck and he declares in person non-grata and an enemy for life SMH. I knew that sentence was going to get worse and worse. I mean, there has to be a villain, right? You can't just like hate PD players. They're nice people. They just came out of the core set and they're like, watch me do this. Hitting the brand new player with score Crypto Crash Big Oppa at the first tournament. That feels bad. I mean, that does feel bad, but like it's a tournament. But yeah, it's always going to feel bad. Like when you know it's a new player and you have to make the play, it's like, well, that's what they're there for, I guess. How all costs going to be installing my agendas as ice? Okay, Axu, again, one more time. As part of the judge team, you cannot keep disseminating this your secret tech in tournaments. It's going to get you in trouble. Someone's going to do it. Every game needs a heal. Yeah, I guess every game does need a heal, huh? I don't know. For what it's worth, the Shaper combo deck is a bit different because the bigger problem with that is like not the deck itself, but the mechanics, or not the mechanics, the fact that the turn takes 20 minutes. Like, I don't care if it's a combo deck, but like, I don't want the turn to take 20 minutes and then not always win the game. Right. That's the issue. The issue is like, it feels weird for a timed game. The combo PD when it fires, it's like maybe 5 minutes, but either they win or they lose on the spot usually. I'm a new player. If I'm a new player at a tournament I was 2 years ago, someone's got to accept you get jump scared. Oh no, for sure. But like, I remember the story. I was going out to casuals and I was playing against this guy named Eric, a real, piece of shit. And he was playing Cerebral Imaging. I'm kidding. For those who don't know, Eric and I have been great friends for ever since. He's playing Cerebral Imaging. This says you have huge hand size, right? And he's just sitting there doing nothing, right? Like he's just playing money, playing Restructure over and over again. This was like 2014 or whatever. So you're playing Restructure over and over again, just getting big money, archive memories restructured. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what we're doing. And I have the audacity to make one run. I make one run. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run. And then his turn, it's like biotic labor. I'm like, that's not good, probably. C source, he has more money than me, so I have a tag. And then it's like something super convoluted, and then I have a tag. I have 5 cards in hand or whatever. He plays Scorched Earth. Okay, I take 4 damage. That's not good. Archive memories. He grabs the Scorched Earth back, plays the same Scorched Earth, and I died on like turn 3 after making one run. And like it feels bad to do that to a new player. I have no doubt Eric was like, that's kind of weird. But like you have to learn what the matchup is and what you have to play against. Funny enough, at the end of that tournament, the promo I walked away with was Plastic Carapace, which that was a big answer, is play Plastic Carapace, buddy. The promo for this was quite nice. And like that'll happen. There was a really bad point in time where Hard Hitting News, the Proto Oppa Research, was a very, very common card. And the issue with this card, it did not have threat text. And it says only if the main runner made a run during their last turn. So not only does it not have threat text, but also it doesn't care if the runner trashed a card or stole an agenda. So it just has like the easiest text possible. And so for such a long time, there was like this really, really, really frustrating skill check for newer players. The new player playing their like, you know, their Exile trash deck ran archives on one turn just to see what was in there. They got nothing. Next turn, they took 4 tags when they had no credits, so the trace didn't have to be boosted. Don't worry how trace works. Basically, if the corp had more money, it worked. And then those players would be like, oh, I had the audacity to make runs. My bad. But the answer is, yeah, don't make bad runs, I guess. And then Economic Warfare came out and everyone suddenly was a bad run. Like that didn't feel great. But like that was the learning. It's like, oh, I played Netrunner and I made a run and I lost. And that's doesn't feel good. Like I hear you and we all agree is like the problem was the runner made a run that wasn't a wise choice. But there were newer players, so maybe they're not playing around this, which of course they're not. But I do think having this sort of like absurd amount of punishment attached to a single interaction is a bit silly. It's a bit much for sure. But you feel terrible doing it. And then new players, like there is a frustration curve between like difficulty and results and how bad the punishment is, that once that gets so skewed, newer players don't try. They leave, right? Like being punished to play one like dirty laundry on R&D because it's open on turn 1 and then losing the game is like, you're basically saying the game has a system for you not to touch cards as soon as turn 1. I don't know. Don't be afraid to face check. Snare dies. I'm never taking advice ever again. Yeah, like in theory, you could always die on turn 1 for snare. And then you learn like, okay, don't run with 3 cards, less than 3 cards in your hand. Which like at least the snare is an exciting part of the game. I don't think Hard Hitting News is exciting. Let me catch up on chat. HHN was a bad time. I think parts of it were good for the game. But ultimately, it was very bad for the game in terms of like the casual play experience. Letting the new player win at a tournament because playing MR 3 times in a row seems like a bad time. Exactly, yeah. Totally. Any new board games recently? I mean, this is gonna sidetrack us. I tried on Marvel Legendary Online last night and I don't get it. It really does feel like a game from 2012. CO players, we can reprimand them for sure. Just shout out to the Eric that I called the total asshole. We've been playing Arkham Horror together for 11 years? No, 10 years this year. Great dude. Exciting swinging things can be fun as a new player. Getting dunked on can be aspirational, improve and explore the game further. Yeah, I'll be honest, like getting Scorched Earth from Eric off of the combo didn't make me not want to play the game. It's a bit weird to be like, oh, you ran. And I think that's a big issue with like the C-Source Scorch combo or the Hard Hitting News. It's like it's punishing you for doing the thing that the game seems to be encouraging you to do, which is like touch cards. So that's a bit weird, which like shout out to Oppa Research being way more nuanced than that. But when the interaction point is like touching cards, it gets a bit different. I think it's partially because Corp has hidden info, so some things just feel more out of nowhere on the Corp side. I think to me, like the icky thing is, it seems like there's this understanding of what is allowed in this game and what is not allowed in this game, right? Like some of this is because how you learn the game kind of like sets the foundationals. It like puts the stilts under the house and then the water comes in and like, I don't know. The idea is what are things that you should be allowed to do and shouldn't be allowed to do? And as soon as you do things that can break that, like, oh, okay, full fast events from Central's full slot machine, like this is where like people decide where their ick is. But in a top cut or whatnot, it feels fine to be mean because your opponent has knowledge of know what's coming. Oh, for sure. In a top cut, everyone is signed up to be in a top cut. Calling your decks trash, Dark Andre. But we live in a don't make runs land against because of Melias now. You can run or they get a basalt counter. I mean, I hear you to some extent. I'm very frustrated with Melias. I think it's my least favorite part of the meta. Discouraging engaging with the game mechanics, I think is more the X factor. Exactly, yeah. That's a big part with this, Brad. It's like these cards said, oh, you played the game, you lose. And by playing the game, it means touching cards. And as soon as that becomes an immediate problem, it gets weird. I really hate Trojan Horse as well. And it's a similar thing. It's like the condition on this is just touching a card, right? Like you're gonna touch cards. I don't know. What are some good decks to learn and bring to Worlds? I need a new core placed. Oh, so like Worlds for now, Shadow is a bit far away. The meta will have at least a ban list. I'm assuming something will happen for sure. But like I have no doubt one of the good decks you could learn to work on your fundamentals is like Hermes Lou. I think Hermes Lou is just good. There's many different flavors of it. I don't know if you have to play Audrey. I think the ones that are just playing like basic breakers are probably a really good spot to be in. And it just teaches good fundamentals. You can say it's boring or not, but I think this is like very, very, very good gray Netrunner. Like gray goo Netrunner, which is good. On the corp side, I think you can figure out what you like. If you like playing assets and doing damage, like any of the many AU codes are kind of fun and they give you a lot of agency and a lot of ways to like control the opponent and capitalize on their mistakes. If you want to play Glacier, there's like 17 different versions of Melies, which are similar. You could play some of the other Glacier decks that exist in the meta, but they seem to be second fiddle to some of the bigger ones. But I would basically say Anarch and Jinteki, which is not a surprise. Legendary Buffy's the better legendary Marvel. I will die on this hill, but Alien and Matrix are the best ones. I played one Alien one at my asshole friend Eric's house. It was nice. But it does feel like just, yeah, a deck builder with no frills. In my second tournament, I got blown out by Archer. It was hype. Steven, I'm not saying I'm particularly ethical as someone who's enjoyed noise, but the thing is I've never rid the Ick for his rig shooting uninteractive combo in Wayland. Wayland, I would say, doesn't necessarily end up on my personal list. I don't even think noise ends up on that list. Like, okay, so this is the thing. Actually, noise is a really good conversation entry point because a lot of people detest noise, right? The same way a lot of people detest ESSA. In fact, I think ESSA is maybe more fair than noise because there's a subsection of the card pool, as much as this is a subsection of the card pool. But this came out in the original core set before we had ways to grab agendas out of archives consistently. So it says, not first time, whenever you install a Vice program, trash the top card of R&D. And for a while, noise was actually really good and really fun. It wasn't immediately in the core set. It was actually many, many years later after there's a whole bunch of support pieces where like Wildside became super playable because he had adjusted chronotype and stuff like that. And I would be the sort of player who gets frustrated playing against noise because it feels like variance is so heavy and so prominent. Like it's a card game. There's so much damn variance in the card game, but then the sort of IDs or cards that put the variance like very much at the top, I think people can react to relatively negatively, myself included. And then I played the noise deck and it was like the most fun. Like it's just such a fun deck. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, these sort of like noise Aesop's Pawn Shop decks were like just my favorite deck. And so suddenly the Ick didn't matter to me because playing them was just that good. Let's just go find one. Yeah, like Josh's list. Looks like there's a problem with the site. Okay. Like these sort of lists that had pawn shops, so you could sell your things, your viruses get money. You had chronotype that said the first time in turn you lose a click, don't. And so Wildside just became draw 2 cards every turn. And then you had like Sherazada that gave you credits when you installed it. Like this engine turned out to be so fun that suddenly the Ick didn't matter to me. If you're seeing why 11 influence, some of these cards were universal influence at the time, so it actually cost more to play them. But then also, this deck was not an uninteractive mill deck. Like a lot of people played this when they got in the game as an uninteractive mill deck, which was like very bad in terms of learning fundamentals. But this was a deck that actually had a game plan, like run HQ, destroy ice, pressure HQ with Lampreys, pressure R&D with medium, trash ice with parasite. Like it had a proactive game plan, which was really cool. Anyways, sometimes that is a big thing. It's like the Ick gets overrun by like how fun the deck is. The thing is like a lot of the icky decks right now in the format, like maybe that's the thing, like combo PD is kind of fun to fire. So I get it. And I imagine actually if I played combo Magic, I would maybe find the combo to be fun to fire. I think that combo is repetitive and requires a lot of input for not a lot of output, technically on like a small level. Over a big enough period of time, like Water Torture, it kind of adds up. But you know what I mean? But like this one's fun. Genuinely fun. Snare moment and the reactions to it, no joke, is the thing I have very long combos before and after joining, or the Urtica moment with respect to teaching the game. I think Urtica needs to be in every teaching deck for better or for worse. Wrong opinion. Melis is goated. We are beefing. Nah, you're feeding into Lucy's narrative, dull bulb. I don't like Melis at all. Moral of the story, whenever is always the problem. I mean, whenever is usually the problem, but it's not always a problem. Sometimes it's amazing and beautiful. Hey Gyro, how we doing? How we doing this Tuesday? Not well. I've been under the weather for last week and I'm not better yet. Zil will be back, I know it. Essa's doing fine. There's a lot more interesting interaction with Essa. Essa versus Thule, for instance. I mean, that's a weird matchup, but yeah, there's way more interaction with Essa. Whenever a noise is the opposite of future-proofed core set text. Yeah. yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with you. Sorry to hear you're sick. Yeah, it's been a week. We missed all last week because we were kind of worse, but I'm not going to be streaming for that much longer today, I don't think. I don't think it's a good idea. Whenever and for each, the harbingers of awful Netrunner. I mean, highlight text, have a good time. Magic combo is terrible to me because it means going through long motions. I was playing Canlander locally last week and someone took a full 2 minutes to win after my last interaction point. I don't think I know what Canlander is though. Was Pirate really not a problem though? Hey Spark. I think Pirate Haley was the most annoying part. I don't think Geist ever got to a point where Geist was a problem because Geist was always fun and interesting and weird and felt like he had downsides. I think Pirate Haley was annoying. Like genuinely was an annoying list to play around. And there was a point in the meta where it was the most popular deck, unfortunately. For those who don't know, Haley Kaplan with playing things like Kongamato and Gabali. This is a list you could play. It had like Bizarre and a bunch of other weird stuff. But Pirate Haley was genuinely an annoying deck. But it was because it was like functionally a prison deck, largely. Oh, right, Canadian Highlander. Yeah. I think you've told me about that before. Or someone has. So Haley just said the first time you install a card, you may install another card of the same type from your grip. Really cool text. FFG has used this in other card games for our identities. Very, very fun. I think that sounds right. Maybe it's not. You didn't have real breakers you wanted to use. Like you had Savant in this list, which I didn't remember that. This is +1 strength for each unused MU, which is cool. It's nice to have programs that have weird text. And it breaks sentries or code gates. Not super efficiently for one of them, but that's fine. But the big thing here is you have all these cards that you can trash to break subroutines. So Grappling Hook is break all but one. Kongamato and Gabali are these virtuals that break the first or the last subroutine. Gabali is the better one because the last subroutine is usually the one that ends the run. Oh, this one didn't have a Gabali in it? This was probably before Gabali came out, I'm guessing. Maybe not, but apparently just Kongamato breaks the first and then Grappling Hook will break all the other ones. And then the idea is that you can kind of like recur this infinitely by playing levies and setting up the combo over and over and over again. There's ones that had more aggressive ways to set up with like Bizarre and Tech Trader and all this other sort of stuff. Yeah, this one was a bit early because there's no DJ Fenris. So this is probably not the worst version of it. This is March. So this one probably that Weston was playing was probably a bit more annoying. Yeah, so this had Gabali in it. So now you had more of them. No DJ Fenris in this one, no. But DJ Fenris came much later because DJ Fenris was in the last set that we got from FFG. So I don't think it actually showed up when Pirate Haley was like really, really, really good. Combo Magic is fun when it's the exception rather than the norm when the stars align. I hate when it's a game of mulligan for the perfect hand on me a turn one to win. I mean, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! And people like Yu-Gi-Oh! But our game is not Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually. Yeah. Corset was firing blind? Oh, I mean, of course it was. Well, not 100%. Whoa, I have a list up here? Oh, wait a second. That's me. No deck write-up? What is this? Oh, this is Gravedigger Haley. Oh my God. Yeah, we were cooking for sure. So the idea with this list is you want to fire Gravedigger so many times. How did you charge this? You contaminated this. Oh my God. So we've been playing for a long time. I don't even remember these lists. There's like people responding and stuff. Even I have a message. Okay, so this is wild. So Haley, you can set up pretty aggressively. Haley classically was like just the best shaper on most board states. Laguna got banned. Laguna was just a click to draw 2 constantly. It cost 5, but you made it back up. So you largely with Haley would fill your hand, last click, dump 2 cards. Really, really, really good. Gravedigger is one of my favorite cards on the game. This came out in Order and Chaos. Whenever an installed corp card is trash, you got a virus counter and you can just click to make them mill the top of the deck. We talked about mill strategies not being fun. And the idea with this list is you could get a lot of clicks on a turn with hyperdrivers, which mind you, one of the only 3 MU cards we've ever seen, if not the only. And when you crack this, you have a 7-click turn, which is good. And then you could do things like contaminate to put a bunch of counters on your Gravedigger and then just start hitting the Gravedigger over and over and over again. This is like genuinely an icky deck for sure, for sure. We have things like Fan Sight, which, why are we doing Fan Sight? Because a turntable, I guess. This card is also busted. It says whenever you steal an agenda, you can swap one of your agendas and one of the corpse agendas. And back in the day, we also had a bunch of corp agendas that were worth less points in your score area, kind of like you know, Let Them Dream, but were even more prevalent. ShadowNet allows you to just like remove from the game one of your agendas to play an event ignoring all costs. So you could just like, I don't know, I guess piecing your time for 9 credits is not super necessary, but you could do like deep data mining. You could do a lot of weird stuff. Yeah. The JNet deck scout cheat code. Yeah, I honestly only learned about that technology, Rohit, someone recently. I didn't realize what gravediggering someone's deck was until I had to do some research. Yeah. Hey, Tokes. Hey, Tokes. How's it going? It's been a minute. Have you ever one of the most problematic cards of all time? I wouldn't say so. It's a really cool design. I think the bigger issue is the cards that came with it. Like this on its own, there's a world where this is a reasonable Netrunner card. Unfortunately, it's everything else around it. LVD is super verbal? Yes, but it's not once per turn. Yeah, verbal plasticity is once per turn. This is whenever. You just have to use this. Or you don't have to use this, actually. It's not like Proco. You just always draw 2, which is good. It's very good. People waiting for their opponent to leave, then doing Summon Gravedigger Wild Tech. Yeah. Yeah, people sometimes can leave, wait for your opponent to leave, and then they'll summon Gravedigger and then mill their opponent's deck to get a full deck list. It's gross. Hyperdriver's like Pinhole, even design around it. Yeah, it's a card that if you know this exists, it's worth building around. It's a very, very, very strong card in any format it's been in, for sure. And then you summon a Hades Shard. Yeah, Hades Shard also a wild card. 7 credits to immediately just access all cards in archives, or you can install this for free. Oh. There's this albino squirrel that lives somewhere in our backyard, and it always runs up to the back of our like kitchen because we have like fire escape. And it's wild to see an albino squirrel, not very, very common. Nanako the cat doesn't like it, but it's here. Very pretty. I'm actually debating over that. I have half a mind to just make all hidden information visible when the game ends in NRO. Put you both into full spectator mode. Yeah, I don't know what the community would want on that. I'm not sure. Same old thing. All of this is just to contaminate over and over again, I'm pretty sure. I love Hades Shard. I have this story that like I keep remembering, and I probably said it before, but we were at a regional, and back in the day, these regionals were big. They were like 40 people, right? Like regionals were kind of the thing between store championships and nationals, but they were huge. They were like 40 people back in the day. And there was one player who was a new player who was pretty quiet, who was in the game. They had no like obvious competitive success going into this regional, but we were looking at the standings and be like, wait, they're in like 2nd or 3rd. Oh my God, they're still in 2nd, 3rd, round after round and round. And then finally they make the top cut. And they're playing Silhouette. Like they were also playing an identity that like a lot of people didn't even know the text on because it wasn't a good identity. And they were a new player. They were just kind of playing whatever they wanted. And so like they made it into the top 8 when we were so excited to be like, yo, you did it. That's sick. You're playing Silhouette. What's the secret tech? Like, how are you winning? How are you taking games off of much more experienced players that you're definitely not like, you know, abstractly favored against? And their answer was, I install Hades Shard and I fire it. And that was it. I think you actually slightly see this play. The closest you have to this play in modern Netrunner that does show up even at top tables. So back in the day, instead of Spin Doctor, we had Jackson Howard. And Jackson Howard was a card that allowed you to clicklessly remove this from the game to shuffle 3 cards from archives into R&D. This is what Spin Doctor is based on. And it was a very important card, the same way Spin Doctor is right now. And so a lot of players would install Jackson Howard, res it, and then spend 2 clicks to draw 4 cards and then discard 3 agendas. Those agendas would go into archives. And then at that time, that was the only card in the entire card pool that would threaten this Jackson Howard like this. And if you're not familiar with this, with Hades Shard, you can install this and holding priority immediately crack it to breach archives, right? Like you are allowed to do that. There's no paid ability window for that. And so obviously no one's playing around Hades Shard, let alone no one's playing Hades Shard around Silhouette. But this player won just about all their games by basically like playing criminal pressure, waiting for them to discard agendas, having a res spin under the table and just saying, okay, Hades Shard, I win. Wild. Jerome, be careful. Maybe Squirrel Girl is nearby. It's just 1 damage. You'll be fine. Yeah, this was proto before Rumor Mill. So Rumor Mill didn't exist. A lot of the cards that would actually blank Spin Doctor didn't exist, or Jackson Howard back in the time. Now, the thing that we are seeing modernly, which is kind of really funny, is Reprise. Like I've seen more than one game in which a runner runs HQ or R&D or honestly wherever and steals an agenda and then waits and then says, doesn't even ask for action. They wait long enough that you don't have to ask for action and then just plays reprise. And reprise is the spin doctor on the table. The res spin doctor that's clearly protecting agendas and runs archives. And then they win the game. Like I've seen way more games where like now against a criminal, specifically against Moosey Hot, if the runner steals an agenda and there's a res spin doctor on the table that's doing something, consider popping it before you allow them to spend their next click. I've seen a couple too many games where reprise spin doctor wins the game on spot. Reprising spin doctor has been a bit more aura, but it's still amazing. Yeah, reprising spin doctor has way more aura. But watch out for that. It's actually a line that you can lose the game on. I've seen a lot of good players lose a game to that. I don't know how I love how integral J-Ho and spin are to the game. I mean, I think spin at least is a really interesting card. It's hard, if we've seen classically, it's hard to print spin doctor like cards in other factions and then have everyone have a choice because then generally decks run too much of it. But yeah, anyways, yeah, they made it to the top cut just playing Hades Shard. It's so funny. Just like a silhouette deck, blank cards, Hades Shard go. And it's like Hades Shard showed up in certain decks, like the Data Leak reversal decks, the cards that actually cared about milling archives, but nobody would play around this. At the Mega City, I pushed Angie as Bangoon on turn 1. They stole an agenda, played all their cards, and then reprised into the iced Angelique and died turn 1. Oh my god. Oof. Ouch. Wow. Oh, but it wasn't rezzed? I mean, I think that's on them. So they ran an upgrade with no cards in hand? Hot take, Spin Doctor should be a Jinteki card. If anything, it should be neutral. I'm pretty sure Spin Doctor should just be neutral. Mechanics-wise, I don't think so. I think Spin Doctor is about controlling the narrative. I hear you with the Jinteki, how it's about like controlling archives. I think that makes sense. But generally when Jinteki does it, it's like some sort of genetics angle. And I think Spin Doctor needs to be a bit more further reaching about like, you know, controlling the narrative of the game and the narrative archives. Unres with 1 in hand, yeah, that's a bit risky. Did you have bite credits? I see where you're coming from because it does say archives, but like draw 2 cards and control like where agendas are is a very NBN thing. So yeah, maybe. But I could see this being neutral. I think if this was neutral, the game probably would be more interesting for it because basically every deck besides NBN it has 3 less influence. You could even say it's controlling the message. You could even say it's controlling. You could even say it's breaking news. You could even say it's the world is yours. I don't know. Sorry. You're not wrong. Genotyping is the Jinteki version. Yeah, Jinteki has a whole bunch of versions. Even like Bird Barbecue, whatever that card's called. There's a bunch of Jinteki versions that do something like that. I don't think I said High Coast. How's it going? I mean, that's funny. Shout out to Silhouette, actually. My other Silhouette story, and I've definitely said this on stream before. You know that guy Eric, that villain, that absolute ass? Next week, we're playing in this league. Mind you, back in the day, we played leagues where we went to this one game store that, I mean, it was okay. And you would basically show up, and every time that you played a game against somebody, you would get a point. If you hadn't played against them, you got 3 points. If you won, you got 1 more point. And then at the end of like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, the prizes came out based off of how many points you got. So it was cool. You can miss a week. It wouldn't be that big of an issue. As long as you played everyone, that was a lot of points. And it was like the prize support was like not the best prize support that people would like be really trying to win every game, but good enough for people to show up, which is really good. Which is really, really, really good. What is expose? Oh, Pinnacle, how's it going? Expose means you get to look at it. Just like reveal. It was a niche thing that existed all the way back in the original core set, but expose was, it was a criminal thing for a long time. So the first time a corp installs a card, you may expose that card. So basically they just let you see what it is. It's just information for the sake. Tron, how's it going, by the way? Hey, how you doing? I would test out a metagame with something like preemptive action over POW recursion NBN cards. A paid action window, yeah. I like expose. Expose is weird. It's not perfect. Yeah. So against that Eric guy, who's a total villain, we all hate him, right? I'm playing Personal Evolution, and talking about Ick, right? Like one of the decks that I got into the game with. Let's look at the art that I played back in the day. Was this Personal Evolution? Whenever an agenda scored or stolen, do 1 net damage. Sick, 10 out of 10 ability, very, very powerful, has always been. And back in the day, especially because at this point Honor and Profit came out, we got so many of these like really good Jinteki cards for doing this sort of like Yomi playstyle about putting cards on the table and doing that. Hiram now has Expose, not exactly, because Expose is only for installed cards. Hiram is uniquely look at. Expose as a mechanic is only used on installed cards. Couldn't tell you why, but you're not wrong, but that's what it is. Yeah, reveal 1 unresed installed card. Yeah, it has to be installed. Yeah. Anyways, I played Mushin. So Mushin just says, put a card on the table with 3 advancements on it, waggle your eyebrows, have fun, right? Your opponent, either you can get into their soul and read them, or you just put random bullshit on the table. Honestly, as a newer player, it was a mix of both. Anyways, so I was playing Mushin, and these are the sort of decks back in the day that were quite good. They almost won Worlds. So Personal Evolution's been around for a long time. So just so we get there, we'll search up Yagura. That will date us. Hiram is Yobu Synergy? I think so, yeah. So this is MT Dread. MT Dread, mind you, is the original architect behind JNet. And came in second. MT Dread is also the Dutch champion for Monopoly, circa like 2015, I think, which is fun. But these sort of decks are like what you did. This has 3 Mushin. It has Scorched Earth, so if you ever float a tag, that's bad. You played a bunch of traps, so you can't tell if it's like a June bug that, mind you, just is just Urtica Cipher, but the numbers are a bit more ridiculous. And then you play Snare and you play Agendas. And the Agendas had bad text too, right? Like House of Knives, oh my god, do I miss this card? But this just said 3 net damage if you score it, 1 when you score it, 3 net damage later. Anyways, the play was, my opponent is playing Silhouette, Eric, the villain. I did lose to him horribly the week prior, so you got to win a game. And turn 1, I put a card on the table. I maybe Ice HQ. I think I Ice HQ. No, I didn't Ice HQ against Criminal. Maybe I should have. I don't know. Maybe I didn't res. Regardless, I have a setup where I put 2 cards on the table, and he's playing Silhouette. And Silhouette into PE is pretty nice, because at the end of the day, all I have that I'm working on is my secrets. And if Silhouette can run an XQ, you can expose cards. And that means you can tell if the Mushin card is something good or something bad. Is it an agenda, or is it a card that'll do core damage to you? Back then it was called brain damage. So that's really, really scary. Turn 1, click 1, he runs HQ. I don't think I iced HQ. I don't think this was an account siphon. It was just a normal run on HQ. And the first time you make a successful run, you have to, you may expose a card. Excuse me, you don't have to, but he did expose a card. And he exposes this card. Which has to date been the only asset that's ever been punished, that punishes you for exposing it. This is a messed up card. Known snare abuser. I mean, I'm efficient with my snares, Axu. Psychic Field says if the runner exposes or axes this, they play a side game. If you and the runner spend a different number of credits, which happens 2 to 3 times, do 1 net damage for each card in the runner's grip. To date, this has been the scariest never advanced trap. Or there's like a series of traps in Netrunner, traps that are worse the more advancements, and then there's traps that are bad without advancements. Right now, the scariest trap with no advancements is either like a snare or a bite, as a modernly called, or a behold. But this is such a messed up trap. Now, it doesn't fire all the time, but it fires sometime, and it knocks out every single card from the runner's hand. So click 1, turn 1 for the runner. They run HQ. They choose to expose the Psychic Field. That means I fire the Psychic Field. I win the side game. The runner now is in the middle of an axis with no cards in hand. The runner accesses a card from hand and then dies to PE on turn 1. And then me and Eric, we were even. And from then, we've always been equals and seen eye to eye. But that's the sort of cheese you need as a new player to take a game off of someone who's been playing for a while. So. Falsified credentials, I'm a Kua 4-9, my beloved, bring back Expose. And I don't know, Expose is really weird, because Expose is like inherently one of the interesting things about this game is that the information is hidden. And having cards that say the information isn't hidden is kind of messed up. The humble edge of the world. I mean, yeah, that needs ice though. Hey, Edward. Spinfield's rating theme-wise on NBN as an addition to Andre's point. It's also a media method to sleight of hand, misdirection, misinformation. Yeah, no, the title and everything lines up really well, really good. Psychic Field is so busted. Yeah, I probably can't be streaming that much longer. I feel it in my throat already. So Psychic Field also has spawned these like really, really ugly decks where Psychic Field, you know, 66% of the time it works all the time and it knocks out every card from the runner's hand. And then we had another card that was printed and unfortunately was printed neutral instead of Wayland. This was a 0 cost upgrade with a 3 trash cost. Shout out to that point in time. And it says when the runner accesses Prisect, you may pay 2 credits to give the runner a tag and 1 meat damage. Why this card was not Wayland is so strange. NBN would play it, but this is an upgrade and the other card was an asset. So if you put a Prisec on top of a, oh, what's it called? The other one, I forget the name now, Psychic Field. You won the game. What is the math? You have to win the 50-50 because they have to hit the Psychic Field first, and then you have to win the 66%. So 33% of the time you win on the spot. And there were decks, I remember Julien, a local, was playing in Canadian Nationals Top Cut with this deck. It had an alternate win condition, but it would just set up this. Anytime there's 2 cards on the server and you ran it without tech, you died 33% of the time. And like, oh my God, is that so annoying? But again, if they access the Psychic Field first, 50%, and lost this, so 66%, but half of that's 33%, and then they had to hit the Prisec, they just died because they had no cards in hand. And like that was a strategy that worked. Yeah. Repeating, of course. Yeah. Wayland hired her. Yeah, this became Angelique, but like the tag actually was a very, very relevant part of this for sure. There is in lore the price of Corp other than Wayland in theory. I don't know what that would be though. Yeah. Yeah, back in the time, Wayland was really struggling. And so anytime there was a card that looked like it could have been a Wayland card and wasn't a Wayland card, that was seen as a personal attack at all the Wayland players. Mind you, she is not the character here. She's the mark. This is the price tag, right? Anyways, we've been playing the game for a while. Okay, just so I think we just got to play some Netrunner so we can't. Haven't you used a Wayland alien? No, they printed some good Wayland cards. Like there's some cool things going around. We had Blue Sun. We had fun ways to play Wayland. Scorched Earth was like keeping the faction alive for sure. Wayland players needed all they could have gotten. And then they printed Mouseless, and then everyone's like, wait a second, you can do this. Print Horadum. Oh, we're good. Is Orbital Superiority being neutral in attack on Wayland? No, it's not. It's fine. Nah, it's fine. I'm not worried about this. It is very above the law coded, but like it's core set. You need neutral cards. I don't think anyone really cares. I could see like wanting this to be a Wayland card, but the problem is like it would come at the cost of another Wayland agenda, right? The pricing era made me like Singularity so much. Did you ever play? Okay. I have played decks at tournaments and top cuts where Singularity was in the deck, but I couldn't tell you if I've actually played a Singularity. Edoc, how's it going? And so Singularity was a card that was on like its text is really, really bad. It's 4 cost and it's a double. It makes a run, has to be a remote server. And if it's successful, instead of breaching that server, mind you, the text is slightly different because it's translated into FFG rules text. You trash all cards in the root of that server. Now, the reason why you played this and the exclusive reason you played this, and mind you, it still says if successful, so it's not like it beats Managarm or Anoetic or any of the versions of that back in the day, is that there was a lot of Anarch decks that were based around one of the coolest breakers of all time, Eater, which was an AI breaker. It had really good numbers. Like these are better than Kurapira, technically. These were Corroder numbers back in the day. But if you use this, you cannot access cards for the minute of the run. So you had to play a deck that just got benefit off of playing not access triggers. So you played things like Imagine Stargate, which was modern-day Keyhole. You played like Imagine Diversion of Funds. And then the only way you could actually crack a remote server, if you needed to use Eater, was by playing a Singularity. But like, I think one of my first successes in competitive tournament play was Eater Anarch, for sure. Like all these cards are so fun to me. And they're the sort of cards that like are definitely ick to many people. But like I have such fond memories of playing Eater, and then the only way that you actually broke servers was like you played Knight. And Knight was this weird Kaisa, the only Kaisa that got consistent play. So it was a program that you had to host. It had 7 strength, and it couldn't boost its strength, but 7 was really, really, really good. And it cost 2 to break a host ice, and then you can just move this thing around. I even brought a physical wooden horse piece to move around the table. Eater, APOC, Kino. Oh yeah, I forgot about APOC. Yeah, Apocalypse was a big reason why you eventually did this a couple years later. But Eater doesn't care about touching cards. In fact, with Apocalypse, you don't want to touch cards. Yeah, Eater Apocalypse was also a thing. Yeah, it was. That was a couple years later. But yeah, that was another big reason to play Eater. There was like a weird subsection though. It was like Eater Apocalypse, but then we had Bin Breakers, and then usually Bin Breakers replaced the Eater in the first place. So there was like a window for all these sort of combinations. Yeah. Double plus big play cost because defensive upgrade still mog you. Yeah, it was not perfect. So this card saw no play besides very specifically that deck. And it's always weird when you see a card like this that came out. Like this came out in the, what is it, second cycle and spin cycle. And like when this came out, people were like, why would you ever play this? And then eventually it was like worth something. This card I do think feels a bit like the 1996 cards, but it's not. I missed Reboot with Aesop's Gaming. That was many years later. Yeah, this card just says take 5 cards from your discard pile, put them on the table, face down, so they don't have text. You can't sell them. And there was a bunch of cards in which, or decks where this was actually worth 5 influence. Yeah, neat. Man, this is a Liga art. Yeah, heck yeah, it is. Cool. Eater Cutlery? Yeah, you played Cutlery in that deck for sure. Mind you, that's why they all came together. Knife, spoon, and fork. That all are about feeding that mouth. Same artist too, is all Doyle. Did Fear the Masses ever find a good deck home? Thematically was a favorite of mine. Not super. There was like, Fear the Masses was the sort of card that would like be in a deck that would win like a regional, but never like big success. Fear the Masses, mind you, was one of these limit 6 per deck cards that was a really combo card that you could build around it. Like this is the sort of card that's really good for streamers, right? Like if successful instead of breaching HQ, you can reveal any number of copies of Fear the Masses from your grip. And then the Corp Trash is X cards from the top of R&D, where X is equal to 1 plus the number of cards you've revealed. So the idea is that you want to get a turn where you had like 5 clicks, 6 clicks, and all the Fear the Masses in hand, and you could get into HQ cheaply because you had to run HQ like 5 times. And then you'd force them to mill like, what is that, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then still check archives and win. But you probably just set up a Hades shard to do that. I don't remember there's any deck that was like, you know, a meta deck that you had to play around, but there were definitely Fear the Masses decks that like did okay, right? Like Rotage, 4-0 and Swiss. That's kind of what you'd expect. Can't believe, wait, what is this? Yeah, Fear the Masses. This is way later. This is in August. This was Dow. So like, yeah, okay. But I think we're looking for something back in the day. Man, still Rotage trying this. Captain Nice had a list. They're a really cool player. Yeah, so there's nothing that was like you had to really worry about, but there's definitely decks that people did. 18th in Americas 2021 from Armin Firecracker. Armin's a good player. Yeah, so like, yeah, people did it, but it wasn't super common. I think it's a video of you crushing me with Max and Eater game lasted like 5 minutes. Hey, Roberto. I think I definitely should do a stream at some point where we just watch old videos because, oh my God, there's so much content on this channel of like old gameplay back in the day with like, you know, familiar faces that is so nice to see. But like the game back then is super comprehensible. Yeah, man, Eater Max is a sort of deck where you make one big mistake into it as a corp and it just rolls you over, which I'm not saying you did, but man, how you doing? Hopefully you've been well. For sure would be a WooTube Double Bulb Fear the Masses stream. Exactly. Like this is a sort of card that we don't see a lot of in the game, but it's like, it's a fun card. Is the payoff even that good? No, but it's the sort of thing like you want to land it because you want to land it, right? Old video watch party would be Kino. Yeah, I think we should do that. Especially also because we have to watch that like... There's 2 videos on this channel that I hate watching, which is me playing at the top, the finals of Canadian Nationals, and just playing like the worst Netrunner ever recorded on tape. Like just the worst Netrunner. Start the content Ouroboros. I mean, it's all slop from here, right? The chess pieces suck, but man, the creativity is inspired but never materialized with amazing time and Netrunner. What was the thing card? The name anything something? The current that said like name a card. Speak to Rotage about Fear the Masses. He's in the UK. Dawn of FDM decks alongside Diaper. Oh, Rotage is great. I'm a huge Rotage fan. I want to do a draft where some picks have multiple copies. Like you can draft 1x Desperado or 6x Fear the Masses. I could see that being reasonable. Your watch party called the Museum of History. Watching yourself on the stream after too. Oh my God. Yeah. Tarmar is the card where you can name a card. If that's what you're saying. I don't know why you'd be saying that, but I guess you're saying because targeted marketing because of Fear the Masses. It just doesn't matter. Because on the Fear the Masses turn, you probably lose anyways. Yeah. Aim Outreach Virtual Tour. Yeah, Tarmar was this current in which you can name a card, and then if they played or installed the card, you got 10 credits. It was like fine. Yeah. The breaker that said something like name and ice anything. Oh, from Mumbad. Sajayata? No, that's not right. It had a name, similar name. What is it called? It was the one that you could give it all types, which mattered for Pirate Haley for a while. We'll find it. It's from this era. But yeah, there's this card that just says you can basically ices all types. Or you could choose a type that's not Barrier, Kogate, and the other one, Sentry. We'll find it. Hold on. That card is messed up. Kogate doesn't draft and it's really cool. Okay, it'll be here. We'll find it. Panchatantra. That's it. Yeah. So once per turn, when you encounter a piece of ice, you may choose a subtype that's not Barrier, Code Gate, or Sentry. That ice gains the chosen subtype. These are the sort of weird cards that, like, I guess the closest thing we have is Chromatophores, but Chromatophores is so much more functional to this. People played Panchatantra unironically, and it wasn't awful because we used to have breakers that like interacted with a small subsection of cards. Like classically, I guess we have Laser Pointer. Like that's fine. You can make it an AP Destroyer or Observer. This is whenever you encounter. This says when you encounter. So I actually don't think this works. I'm not sure if this works. Deus Ex, yeah, Deus Ex is a big one. I think a lot of people also did Gingerbread. Gingerbread was a breaker that is also very 1996 coded, where we used to have icebreakers back in OG Netrunner that could break weird subtypes only. Like this only breaks Tracers or Hellhounds or something like that. But yeah, Gingerbread Panchatantra, this has good numbers on it. If you think these are good numbers, they could be. Just Shaper Catnip so they can start complaining about Anarch getting broken cards. Exactly, yeah, you need to give them some of that stuff. Panda Ginger is a staple shaper in pawn shop. It's fun. Are these cards in the bottom half? Gingerbread's in the bottom half? Man, that's a shame. Gingerbread's a cool card. Art's great. This is also Doyle. These lights at the back. Does anybody know the name of the card that has... It's like, we're talking about Kaisa today to some extent. And also these two things. It's Carmen numbers. I mean, you're right. It's just Carmen numbers. Okay, so these lights in the background, if you ask me, are the exact same lights from another art that Adam Doyle did. That is this criminal program that says when you pass a card, pass another card of the same type. It has candles on a birthday cake. Is it just Copycat? Yeah, sick. But this is not Doyle. This is Gong Studios. That's unimaginable how similar the color on this is. But like there was a consistency to cyberspace across factions. There still is. FFG did it different than NSG. But yeah, I totally forgot. But the reason why I bring this up is that this era is when I got into the game. And there used to be these videos, they're still up on YouTube, where Team Covenant would sit down in their store / cafe / board game area, and they would like basically talk through the cards that came out in a data pack. And it was this data pack that I watched, not being in the game, that got me into Netrunner. Because they were showing these sort of cards. They showed like Bishop and they showed Kaisa. They had these ideas of these were like programs that you host on ice and they move around like chess pieces. They showed these weird cards like Copycat, which is like, oh wow, that's really interesting. This is text that is not necessarily effective. In fact, it never saw any play. But this is genuinely one of the cards that got me into the game of Netrunner, and I don't know why. I have no idea why, but Kaisa got me in, this got me in, Knight got me in. And I was like, wow, these are just like very interesting designs for card game ideas. In fact, that sort of exact format we copied on the Métropole Grid years later, where me, Pat, and Benoit would meet after hours at one of Benoit's board game stores, and we'd do the same thing where we opened up data packs around the Mumbad cycle and we did reviews. You can watch that stuff. The audio's okay, I guess. But yeah, this is genuinely a data pack that was really, really important to me. And like ultimately the cards in it are like no good. Like none of these cards see consistent play. Like Sherazada did. Like this happened a lot back in the day. It's like the cards were really inconsistent. Like Sherazada saw any play, but let's shout out the cards that actually saw play from this. Like Sherazada, prepaid voice pad, Shimon from Sansan, Restructure. That's not terrible. Profiteering saw play, niche play, like many, many years later. But like, yeah, generally if there was 3 or 4 good cards on a data pack, it was a good enough data pack. I wish the chess programs were better. Yeah, you and me, both. Scoop seasons have really killed pack review content. No, I don't think so, Phil. I think pack review stuff still does really well. Like any review or tier list content does so well on the internet, regardless. Sherazada was probably always been my favorite flavor text. What is it, actually? I don't know if I know it offhand. Installing 1001 programs puts you in the Hacker Hall of Fame, or what if such an institution actually existed? There's a lot of like deep lore about the Hacker Hall of Fame and like hosting daemons and Guru and all that sort of stuff that showed up on a lot of the daemons over time. I also wish the chess programs were better because I made an Eternal Ari chess deck and all the modern Trojans are better, just better versions. I'm assuming they're all Trojans, right? Yeah, they're legally now Trojans, which is like kind of cute. I don't miss the data pack release speed. Oh my God, I do. Imagine that as a content creator, having 20 new cards every month. How beautiful is that? Do you not like the meta right now? Why don't you just wait 22 days? The meta will change. It's so cool. I don't know. I'm kind of I miss this. We were also constantly in like spoiler season because every month there'd be a new data pack. And so you'd know what was in the data pack, but FFG would put out articles only showing 3 or 4 cards. And then you see a couple are in the fan. And it was like this nonstop release of stuff. So like the meta changed constantly. You did run into weird pain points because very importantly, these sets, like Second Thoughts was one of a 6th of the whole cycle of the spin cycle. But the spin cycle was play tested altogether. These metas of only having like 3 out of the 6 data packs were never tested. So there was a chance that there was like a poison and an antidote. The poison might come in pack 1. The antidote could come in pack 6. So sometimes things were ugly, but at the end of the day, the metas were only like a month long. Yeah. Terminal 7 was based on the cards coming up hella fast. Yeah. Terminal 7 was great. Why doesn't Sherazada make you play a Netrunner sub game? They tried. Spent many hours of my life losing games of Kaisa and Nasir. Hey Kago, how's it going? I mean, that's an uphill fight for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of weird cards that like really encourage you to do strange things back in the day. Like Record Reconstructor, mind you, this name comes up so much in so many things. Like my Netrunner bot that pulls up cards, my software is called Record Reconstructor. This card is sick. Also, like I don't know if this was ever intentional, but you notice this civet on the mug? That's what's her name? Cabinessa's logo. This card came out in 2013. Cabinessa came out like 3 years later is my guess. And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Cabinessa came out in, where's the copy on here? 2017. Cabinessa has the same logo. I have no idea if FFG was on top of that already, or they just wanted to use that logo later. But there was always weird things like that that are so charming. Very, 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 very cool. I think I would take a quarterly release as an optimal. Okay, maybe every month is a bit much, but obviously more cards would be sick. I wasn't really playing back then, but I remember packs had like a short story in every box. I think I like more narrative. Yeah, they did. They did. I don't remember reading all of them. At some point, it kind of fell off, but some of them had like every month you get part of the story, and I do remember the ones I read. Camping shipments to try to get opening moves was annoying. Yeah, opening moves was hard to get. That's for sure, because it had Spin Doctor or Jackson in it. Yeah. I can't take credit for Infinite Credit Woo, Tron. That was Wawa and Cobra Bubbles. My hell? You don't want more cards? I may prefer digging deep into longer metas and constantly changing ones. I way prefer, excuse me. I think there's a midpoint. I think there definitely is a midpoint. But I think for like the health of this game, of like having new stuff, does bring people in. It does have more conversation. A lot of people have, the longer the meta is without any like noticeable changes, is something that's only appreciated by either people who are incentivized to dig through the deeper card pool, which is not everybody, and a lot of people just like tune out. Like there's a big chance that Lou will just be like the good deck to play for the next like 4 to 5 months until Worlds, and that's probably not going to be doing good for bringing people into the game, you know? I think there's like, that is an issue when it comes to new stuff, is like there's not a huge incentive to dig into the card pool, right? And the card pool is, you know, it's not as big as it's been in a while. It's technically bigger than last year. So like there is a lot of things that we'll never discover, and no meta will be totally solved because we'll always move on. But I think they should release booster packs 2 months before the actual packs, and then sticker packs to patch old cards once a year. Oh my God, there's no shot. Phil, you know how there's errata choices. There's no way that would happen. I think I want something somewhere between current release schedule and data packs, like quarterly. Yeah, quarterly releases I think would probably be the sweet point, if not at least twice a year. But personally, I feel like semi-annual releases would be more ideal for me, but I have no idea what the logistics on what does the NSG. I have no idea what the NSG release logistics are now that they have a different printing pipeline. Again, it's all volunteers. So imagine putting out 4 products a year. Like that seems nonsense, even for like a company that has, you know, people getting paid to do things. There's a new article on the logistics of making the game up on the NSG blog, by the way, like right now. They just wrote about putting cards on boats this morning. Wait, what? Oh my God, they did. From Benjamin to Ron Bouchard, Drew Drucifer Laval, and Cobra Bubbles? Okay, wait a second. This is perfect. I really should stop talking though. If the card pool were bigger, I'd be okay with slower releases. I agree. Yeah, if the card pool were bigger, I'd feel better about it. Long-term players will be well aware that NSG has often struggled to meet planned timelines for the releases and distributions of our sets. Understandably, this has created frustration for players whose orders take longer than expected to arrive. Supply chain issues have also caused concern about the long-term sustainability of our support of the game. This article aims to provide an insight into our current process for ordering, printing, and delivering physical copies of our sets, a process which has changed significantly over the past year. We will also take a look at why delays and other issues have occurred with our process historically, using the distribution of our last set Vantage Point as a case study. Okay, I do want to just say really quickly, and also I did get roasted a bit, but we can maybe come back to that talking point later. But if you haven't been listening to Measured Response, you should. It's been really, really good. One thing on Measured Response that came out, I don't want to say this week, but the last week, that Safer and Jeff were talking about. For those who don't know, if you search Yasengren SC, they have a call-in show. Largely, they're doing some replay reviews, including this week, in which people can ask Netrunner questions, and then Safer, who is part of the design and SBL team, and Jeff, who's part of OP, the head of OP, in fact, at Null Signal Games. Safer is head of a couple things. I'm just not going to get the titles right, so I'll keep it vague. They answer questions, not really as like representatives of as Null Signal Games, but they also have their own opinion. And one thing that they did mention specifically was that like when it came to giving out timelines, Null Signal Games has largely just kind of stopped doing it. Right? Like there used to be timelines of when things are going to rotate. And
you could kind of see from a distance, but Null Signal Games has missed a lot of their timelines to some extent, right? Like things are always kind of vague. They've been better at making it vaguer to say like Q1 and then it comes out in March, which is totally fine. But like what they said on that podcast, which makes a lot of sense to me, is like there was no good upsides to giving a really strict timeline. And then if they miss it, it was really, really quite bad. So they have like really hid some of their timelines intentionally. And I mean, I imagine they want to be able to say like discreetly, this is what we want to be doing, but it's hard. Saver leads dev and SPT. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I said something very close to that. Tehran is responding to something. Anyways, you should just like listen to that, because at the end of the day, like this sort of stuff is so damn difficult, and sometimes like pinning yourself down for a timeline and then like it doesn't always serve you well. It might actually serve them better to be a bit more nebulous about the timelines in theory. Tron, you should not follow Andre's lead and earnestly reply to my shit posting. I would say that quarterly would actually not work very well with the current OP timetable. I think 3 per year would be peak for nicely spaced timing that would work with the OP schedule. My logistics brain kicking in hard there. Yeah, I mean, this strict schedule for where tournaments have to happen has been a pain point when it comes to releases. Like, I think inherently Vantage Point wanted to be released before Megacities, or sorry, before regionals started, whatever they're called. I don't know the names of things anymore. Before districts started this year, but it came in the middle, and that's just going to happen. But it's hard. Tehran responded, we're working on accelerating the speed of releases, but trying to work in booster packs would be a very different process and requires a lot more work. Doing Netrunner as a third hobby, I feel the release timeline is great right now. The thing is like EDOC, yeah, for sure. But I do think for the growth of Netrunner, there needs to be more people where it's not third hobby, right? Like you want first hobby. And the thing is, yeah, more stuff obviously makes that easier, as much as at some point it becomes the opposite. Something workable for a company with staff, but not now for us. Yeah, 100%. I've been on teams where we should stop announcing timelines since I joined the org. Yep. Lime Tides. This article explains why I came in the middle, by the way. Okay, cool. So our new distribution process. Our new process for set distribution was implemented for the first time for the release of Vantage Point and our recent global restock of other sets. This process is the product of continued research, testing, and iteration, which has taken place over the past year. While this process is still being refined using lessons learned from Vantage Point, the following should serve as a reasonably accurate outline of how it works. So first, we should identify the parties involved. There's 6 to be aware of. NSG, okay. Boda Games, the printer we started working with last year. Those are making the new cards. Various international freight companies. This seems, I don't know anything about this. I think it sounds really, really difficult. Regional fulfillment partners, regional delivery services, and you, the player and customer. If I'm not mistaken, all this stuff in Canada is like one nice guy in Calgary who's a volunteer. This is probably very different across all of Europe and all of the States, but in Canada, I'm pretty sure, yeah, shout outs to Dave. I think it's all just Dave. Which, like, there's no way that's sustainable. But currently, I think if you buy from Canada, shout outs to Dave. And Dave has been like doing a really good job from what I've seen. I think I might be treated a bit differently being a content creator, but like, I don't get how that's sustainable. But again, shout out to Dave. It's Cal and Gary. Oh my God. As a customer, you're probably already familiar with the first and last parts of the process, placing your order versus the website and receiving your cards from a regional delivery service or a regional delivery Dave. International shipping is a complex set of processes, so there are several other steps that go into getting your cards to their new home. I think I'm meeting Dave this weekend. I'm pretty sure Dave will be at Dave's local event. Yeah. Hey, Leon, in general, when timelines are missed for whatever reason, I generally don't care, but the problem becomes when the timelines are missed and there's no comms around what the new timeline is. I don't think NSG is bad at, like, when NSG makes a miscall or like something has to be shifted, again, tone flat, total neutral tone on that. I do think they're not bad at communicating that, right? Like when it came to the store issues in Europe, I'm assuming those are solved, but like we got an update like way more than I cared about. Like I was not in Europe, but it felt like we got an update like every 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. So I don't know if the accountability was really, really bad. But yeah, for sure, if the timeline needs to be missed, you should communicate about that. I don't know if NSG has been bad at that. It doesn't seem like, in my experience, they are. First, we, the publisher, work with the printer to produce the product to our specifications. For new products, we go back and forth with them to examine samples, ensure cardstock quality, ink color, and consistency are all up to standards. This was such a big thing last year. Like, especially moving to the new printer, you have to make sure that the new printer can deliver cards that are indistinguishable largely from the existing cards. And so the amount of people that were like kicking around Worlds last year in Edinburgh, trying to show you like, can you tell the difference between card A and card B? Which one's from the new printer, which one isn't? So much work went into this behind the scenes. It's really hard to appreciate that, but a ton of effort went behind the scenes from folks like Tron and all the other folks. So like they did a good job. The new cards are definitely a bit different. In sleeves, they don't matter. From a distance, they don't matter. We didn't really talk about that. I think they're a bit waxier, they feel, but like they're totally fine. It doesn't matter. It's a very good printer. This process can take anywhere from a couple of weeks to multiple months, depending on the scope of necessary revisions. And yeah, the revisions I wasn't aware of. I just saw one of the final ones that they were happy with, but so much time goes into this sort of stuff. Once we are satisfied with the quality of the product, NSG moves on to placing a purchase order for a print run. We determine the quantity needed for each item by comparing existing stock levels and sales trends. God, this is a lot of work. In order to gauge projected demand, that's a lot of stressful work. Due to the timescales of printing and shipping, this needs to be done months in advance of when we expect everything to arrive at our fulfillment warehouses. Man, making huge financial decisions of how much stock you're pulling in just to hope on the future is like, that keeps you up at night. Once printed, the product is split up and palletized in preparation for freight transit via international freight companies to our regional fulfillment partners. At this point, we determine how much of the order shall be sent by air, fast but expensive, by sea, slower but cheaper. Sea freight often takes 30 to 60 days, whereas air takes less than 2 weeks. Jesus, freight itself can be a complex process. So currently NSG is using a delivered duty paid arrangement where our printer bears the responsibility of getting goods to their final destination. The printer passes on the freight cost to the publisher that includes an administrative fee for doing the coordinated labor. As NSG's bandwidth grows, we plan to shift to a more hands-on method to reduce costs. Feel the new cards so much more than the previous ones. I haven't touched them without sleeves, so I forget what they feel like, but I remember them being good. Phil, you just added a restream bot, so that can't be good. NSG did announce Q1 for Elevation, then do not any more public updates until we announce April 24th. So it's not been good. VP was still better though. Oh, it was April, right? January, February, March, April. I mean, that's still Q1, I guess. Yeah, this stuff is a lot of work and like, it's not particularly sexy. I don't know how things work. You know me. As freight shipment arrived, our various regional fulfillment partners receive them in the warehouses and begin packing orders. We try at a time to official release dates for new sets to line up with the stage of the process. Once packed, orders are typically picked up to the next business day by a regional delivery service so that your cards can begin the final stretch. That's the point where the customers will usually be notified about shipping and so on and so on and so on. So my guess is that in the future, NSG is going to have all this stuff done far ahead of announcing any final dates and putting stuff in stores and all that sort of thing. Like right now, from what I understand, is a lot of the times of when the set is going to be legal is a guess on when all this stuff, which is an absurd amount of stuff, will be done and stock can be delivered. I'm guessing NSG in the future is going to get into a point where they run themselves closer to some bigger businesses, which have the ability to basically like buy stock, fill their stores, fill their warehouses, get things moving to the right places, and then, you know, turn on the lights. Because we've had that issue for the last little while. Like the lights are turned on, but oh, you can't buy stuff in Europe until this. You can't buy stuff in America until this. So I think we're going to see something slower while things get set up. But once they get set up, I'm imagining it's going to be a much more well-oiled machine because now they have better, you know, workflows for all this sort of stuff. I have no doubt we'll see that. Yeah. 100% the process is much better now. Yeah, this seems way better. The elevation problems were part and parcel why the process change happened. Yeah. Yeah, I hope they fix the pipeline to stores. Yeah, I'm assuming all this stuff is super related. But a lot of that was like last year was also a huge pain point because the person who classically was doing distribution in the States was no longer doing distribution. So they had to find ways to do that and they had to move all the stuff. There was like not liquidity issues, but a lot of the capital was tied up. Yeah. What caused the delays? How long is this article? Hopefully the outline gives an idea of how complex this process can be. It does. A global logistical operation is a lot to manage, especially for all volunteer organization. Our commitment to deliver our sets to players around the world has always been quite ambitious. Many game studios of our scale and level of professionalization would stick to distributing goods in one country, or they might outsource publishing entirely. And like, that's true. There's a lot of games like looking at Earthborn Rangers stuff. I don't know if they distribute globally. They largely don't. They just distribute in the States. Their stuff is printed in the States and they say, good luck, Canada. I think they might have a European chain that publishes prints somewhere in Germany. They specifically have this like make things sustainably. So they don't want to have stuff printed in China and freighted around the world. And that comes with a lot of downsides that are very complicated and expensive. And a lot of companies just say, that's it, figure it out on yourself. Like there's so many card games of a scale comparable to to NSG that just don't bother. Like NSG does a really good job at like hitting every single market. Again, Canada has been really smooth. So if you disagree with me, maybe you've had a harder like road. But for Canada, it's been super, super easy. We don't say that just to toot our own horn and to make excuses for the times where we failed to deliver what we promised on time. While there are occasions where other parties involved in distribution make errors or encounter obstacles that are out of our control, we are aware that in most cases the problems in this area have been rooted in our own organizational issues. Self-own. We've often been too ambitious in our timelines and the scope of our distribution operations. Historically, the three main direct causes of delays are not ordering product in sufficient quantities, not dedicating volunteer times to study and smooth custom processes that can cause delays, and often relying on a single person to carry out the packaging of orders for a region. This is a huge issue. So many problems. NSG has like one fail point, which is like, imagine something bad happens to Dave. Canada would fall apart. We think you're very important, Dave. I hope you're well. But yeah, there's a lot of like huge areas of the world that were serviced by a single person. And obviously as a volunteer, if something shows up and they can't, or they have to not for a bit, like it all falls apart. We have to put in the work to reckon with these issues during the reorganization process we've undergone over the past years. We believe we're better positioned to deliver sets on time as many players as possible going forward. In particular, thanks to our arrangements with the regional fulfillment partners in most regions, we're no longer relying on our volunteers to carry out the extensive labor. Yes, that's a really big part. Less of it is now being volunteers, especially for big regions like Europe, from my understanding, and more of it is now being paid to professional like distributors and services that do that. The proof is in the pudding. All right, Vantage Point. Man, he says not talking, and then he reads the most like dense article NSG has ever put out. Let me blow my nose. As someone who buys products as a job, logistics is hell, even for people who specialize into it, and it only gets more complicated as you get more global, and so there's not much you can do. It seems hard, like especially also like in our day and age. Okay. I mean, we can get through this. While working on Vantage Point in Q1 of 2025, our original plan was to produce it via the print-on-demand service of MPC Make Playing Cards, as we had done with all our prior sets. Timelines were set out. We were aiming for the card files to be completed in October for release in January of 2026 after quality control and post-production work. In parallel to this, NSG was undergoing some reorganization. The newly formed operations department, comprising the distribution team and others, set out to re-examine our options for printing and shipping sets. By the time the studio department was starting to wrap up creating the cards for Vantage Point, operations work was starting to come to fruition. The biggest takeaway was that paying higher costs for the convenience of MPC's on-demand service was putting significant constraints on our operations. It had a limited amount of stock we could order at any given time, resulting in long-standing stocking issues and made it struggle to meet our other financial obligations. Operations research led us to signing a new contract to print our sets much more affordably with Boda Games. And that's a really notable thing is MPC is like offers a service that is unique, that they allow you to do professional printing at small print runs for like smaller companies and smaller businesses. But from my understanding, there's no like major full, big distribution card game service that uses MPC, because what it does not scale in terms of money if you want to make huge print runs. It just doesn't. It's better for smaller print runs of smaller stuff. And so it's really, really good that NSG moved to a more professional service for that. Not that MPC was bad, it just doesn't line up with how they're trying to grow. An arrangement which would be massively reduce our cash crunch and help smooth out these problems. In hindsight, if we had printed Vantage Point with MPC, we expected that we would run out of stock within 6 weeks of release. Instead, we were able to overstock to cover pre-ordering, plus initial waves of post-release orders, and have some spare to cover the time until next restock. And I'm also assuming this, and I don't think NSG will say it, that the price to order this much stock was still less than it would be to order this much stock from MPC. And then again, that is just because of the way MPC works versus other printers. But I have no doubt that this is also way cheaper. Even at the big differences in stocking. Once we had signed with Boda, it became clear that the estimate of a January release had become unrealistic. As it was, we needed to go through a couple of rounds of proofing to ensure that Boda's products would meet our standards. While this process was getting started in early December, NSG Steering Committee made the decision to push back on the release date of early March. A lot of these things like NSG Steering Committee, these were changes that NSG has made over the last like year and a half, specifically in very important times for NSG, and none of these have been communicated. Like, I don't think it needs to be for what it's worth, but like understanding how NSG is structured, they're now very opaque about it. And I think that's ultimately fine. But like, I don't understand how NSG works. I know they have a steering committee. I think there's like a handful of people on them. I think they all make the decisions together. Is it democratic? Does it require a vote? It doesn't matter to me. I honestly don't care. But NSG has done a lot of internal changes without talking about them. And I think that's ultimately fine. But why I'm bringing this up, I guess, is that NSG has made a lot of changes of how they're structured over the last year and a half. And that is also another thing that compounds with these issues that needs them. Like now the flywheel is spinning, so future will be better. Anyways, they made the decision to push back the release to early March after communicating with the rest of the organization on December 13th. After adjusting some timelines, we were able to lock in the final release date of the March 2nd before the end of the month, informing the organization on December 29th ahead of public announcements on the 1st of January. Boda told us they could finish producing the first print run of Vantage Point by the start of February, so we elected to ship 60% of the order by air to ensure we can meet all pre-orders as soon as possible after release date. That's more than we've shipped by air in any previous order, an affordance made possible by the significant savings. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, that printing with Boda had provided. As a result, the airship product arrived on our regional fulfillment partners in the US, Canada, and Australia around the February 20th, and they began distributing it through their local delivery service and arriving customers in time for March 2nd. In fact, as a content creator, I received my copy of Vantage Point before the release date, which is super exciting because we could play it on release date. But yeah, it seemed like things were ready ahead of time, which is great. Unfortunately, product did not arrive with the UK and EU customers as quickly, partly due to some mistakes on our end and partly due to factors beyond our control. Imports into Europe are subject to additional checks, which we had failed to factor into our timelines. Meanwhile, a small mix-up between the international freight companies and our UK fulfillment partners meant that they received the product later than planned. As a result of these factors, most UK and EU customers received their copies of Vantage Point 1 to 3 weeks later than customers in other regions. Obviously, that sucks, but it's hard. I've always liked the board. That's why the article implies with the cash crunch part. Yeah, I'm looking at similar stuff for my own game. The steering committee meets behind the local YMCA and votes via rock, paper, scissors. I heard some of them are really good at it though. So like some of the games go on forever because like they just keep going rock. Nothing beats rock. Overall, the launch of Vantage Point was broadly successful and an encouraging proof of concept for a new printing process. Committing to launching a new set at the same time as carrying out a large-scale restock of other sets, all while putting a new process into practice for the first time, was ambitious. That ambition led to some issues, but we hope that as a future product launches will not have this level of complexity, we will be able to iron out these issues. Our operations department is now working to implement the lessons at the launch, and particularly by adjusting our plans to factor in regional differences to import processes, which will hopefully prevent similar regional delays from happening in the future. We've also built more post-production and shipping time into our set development timelines. That's what I mean. I'm pretty sure everything is going to be like locked in and like set up before they're going to announce any dates, so that we don't need to commit to the extra expense of large-scale air shipping before we launch a product. Yo, TMKF, how's it going? These developments put us in a great position to avoid delays in the future and continue delivering new sets to players on a more regular and consistent basis. The next step on this road is our next restock order for all regions, which has already been in place with Boda and is even larger than the restock that came alongside Vantage Point. Steering committee rock, paper, scissors games are the source of all delays. Stop going rock. I spend multiple hours a week practicing my RPS skills. I wonder what the meta is at NSG for RPS. Because like rock is really good. I've heard rock wins actually like 2 to 3 times somehow. But then the issue is like paper seems good. Man, the RPS is good for having like a really simple self-correcting meta. As always, we're grateful for your patience and your constructive feedback. If you have any questions, you can email the distribution team at Nelson Games. Cool. Look at all these nice people. Tron's in chat, so if you have any hate, you can shut up and don't tell him. Invested all my points into Melius minigame, so I suck at RPS. The Melius alt ID that showed up at, I'm not sure which event it was, but it was on stream. The one with the 3 question marks. Like, I mean, it's nailing the theme for better or for worse. Rock is objectively just the best one. That's what I'm pretty sure. Paper players are just abusing broken mechanics. Rock is really good. It's just like consistent. Yeah, good old rock. Nothing beats rock. How's it going, Craig? How is it, Madison? Madison, what's it called? The districts. No, Megacities with this week. Rock, Busto, it only loses to paper, which nobody plays. Yeah, you have to like when you go to an RPS tournament, you have to like really understand whether you want to play, you know, like the tier, not the tier 1 meta, but like rank 1 meta where it's like you play the best deck, and then like rank 2 is where you play the deck that's going to prey on the best deck. And then there's some players that convince themselves they should be playing like depth 3, which is like you play the deck, they'll beat the deck that plays the deck. And the thing is like, I think 2 out of the 3 ladders say play rock, right? Like Amelius is OP because nobody plays Padma. Natural Predator. The Melius alt is from AMS. Okay, sick. That AMS alt was everywhere at Reading because AMS was selling it on the day. Oh, I thought it was price support. People were just playing it because AMS was selling it. That's sick. Scissors is MP. Surely we need 3 factions, but I don't see the appeal. Yeah. I heard the original designers had a 4th faction. It was called like Dreamers or something. And it was meant to do like some of the things that eventually just became part of Scissors Color Pie. I'm not going to talk about the Color Pie stuff. All right. I definitely should not have read that whole article out. For those who are tuning in, I've been unwell for the last week or so. My voice is still kind of cooked, and every day that I do a stream, I feel worse the next day. So go us. What we're now going to do in absolute abject silence, we're going to play game Netrunner, and we're not going to say anything. Okay. I think this will be a fun experiment, but like, can we literally play a game of Netrunner without saying a word? And probably no. It's probably not likely. I have to say everything, I think. But I could see us wanting to play just good old game of Netrunner and just be in total silence. I might mute the microphone, but like, how little can we actually express to make things make sense? No chat. No, chat's allowed to talk. In fact, I would encourage chat to talk because I'm not allowed to like reprimand chat because I have to be quiet. The question is what we're playing. I mean, this deck is called Silencer, so that's kind of perfect. This is Mapparelli. I think we played a couple Mapparelli decks before. I remember some of them being kind of strange. I think Mapparelli was at an event I was at and I didn't say hi. Play runner, please, so I can go to bed soon. Because you've been waiting for a game. This seems good. You can write in chat instead. Yeah, maybe I'll just write in chat. That actually might be better. I'll get some chat interaction. Sleeper, how's it going? I mean, this seems fine. No reprimand. I mean, the reprimand will be in chat. If someone gets banned during this, like, we'll learn a lot. There's a fun story behind why this deck is called Silencer. I haven't read the write-up yet. I don't know if it's in the write-up, right? Just need the Club Penguin wheel and TTS to avoid talking. I never got into Club Penguin. I played Habbo Hotel when I was a kid. Okay, apparently we need to play Runner. I mean, I don't know what Runner I'm excited to play. This is just like good stuff mags. I think the write-up says specifically this is not a good meta call. This was just the deck that Mapparelli like last played, which is kind of fun. I kind of really wanted to play Laura's deck, and I think Laura's deck is probably worth playing. I mean, it's definitely worth playing. The question is whether it's worth playing in this environment, because it seems like a complicated deck, and I'm not going to be very good at it, because it's Shaper plus Audrey, which are like 2 pain points of mine. But we probably want to do it. I'll commentate the game for you. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we missed this last week, which is such a bummer. So we'll definitely play it on Thursday because Laura is the best and this deck looks really cool. Unfortunately, we did miss 2 streams last week because of illness. So yeah, let's just play this. Yeah, okay. During grand finals, a small group of folks sat down behind our stream table and were being exceedingly loud to the point where Mapparelli had to turn around and tell them to shut up. Were they Netrunner players? Man, that happened as well during Continentals last year. During one of the top things, somebody like made a noise from the crowd that actually was unfortunately leaking information. It sucks because there's that secret cursed tech that nobody wants to know about. We played the crew Vic going around. We did, Blurby. I really liked it actually. I wanted to play more of it. Oh, they were okay. They were just other people. I mean, okay, that's a bit harder. That's kind of on the TO to do, Frank. So maybe I'm gonna roast you here, but that shouldn't probably be on the player to yell at them. I mean, hopefully it went well. Yelling at strangers. Import deck. The tech that can't be named, yeah, Axu. Yeah, you know. The secret curse tech. We're a runner. Che, are you ready? Because if you miss this, like, I don't know what to do. I should look at the deck list. I don't think Chase, did we miss it? You're not in chat anymore. I don't know who we're going to be playing. I was literally about to get up, but in fairness, I was on the other side of the table from him. I mean, you got to yell at someone. No, we missed it. Yeah, okay, hold. I don't know what to do. I should have waited. Hey. Shay, can you wait for one more? Okay, it's Newbing. It's 54 cards. Okay, so what's our deck do? We have Gauss, which will break the big barriers. We're on 1 propeller. Okay. We need to trash things with Audrey, which might not be super common. I'm assuming this is the silencer list, which I haven't looked at pretty well. I think we'll just start with this. Years of playing drums with no earplugs means any sense of hearing is already shot. Oh, so yeah, for sure. Apologies. I thought you'd jump right in. Next time, maybe you host. We'll get it after. I'm so sorry. That was really awkward on my part. Sir Virtue, Mulligan. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I mean, slow start. No, not at all. No, not at all. No stress. Okay. So, we're lat. So we want to match hand size to get our forward tempo. I'm assuming this is just like Nuveng with measured. We'll see what Faye is up to. Nuveng says, oh no, I'm not meant to talk. I already forgot about that. Okay. The thing is, if I don't talk, I'm going to forget I'm on stream, and then I'm just going to like pick my nose and burp. Like, I'm just going to forget. I'm going to... I'll say some things. Okay. 5 cards, good. So we should play this. I don't like this. Okay. Just put a different camera angle. I could put the weird side one. Five again. Okay. Draw 6-5. That seems fine. I don't like playing this many events before Anacom. Andre fart stream. The thing is, like, this can't... If this microphone picked up the farts, you would have known by now. Why not just 2x SMC? Worried we'll get locked into it. So this could be a problem as soon as Seamless. I don't know. What upgrades are we playing around? One second. We're doing field research. Malapert? Mavirus? We don't know. Well, we can just run this. It's probably a barrier. The sentry, perfect. Malapert? You want to trash this. The other card's probably an Antil or wall to wall. I don't think it's an agenda. Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, Malapert makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't want to trash it. It puts him off Myoshu. It means green mails are a bit worse, but that's it. Somebody go compare this to Andre's first JNet streams. I've been a yapper the whole time. Because I started streaming after he started doing commentary. Just all guys. Alright. So Faye doesn't have a lot of money, and the remote server doesn't really matter, but like our hand is no economy. If this is a Winchester, it's very expensive, so we might not do anything smart. That's really good. It's a shame we see all of these before we see an Anacom. I mean, we can just continue to set up and just build breakers. I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't think my microphone is set up for ASMR, because if I talk too quietly, it cuts out. This probably is a big barrier. Yeah, this is probably a Pharos now. So if it's a Pharos, we can force a res for 7. Could be... Well, could be anything. We could do SMC into Peller for 3. But then we have to run the thing twice because of Event Horizon. So I don't think this is going through. We're on Hush? No, I don't think so, but I don't know the list. No, we're not on Hush. We have no good way of dealing with the big barrier besides Propeller. This deck is dead into Pharos. Yeah, this deck is going to struggle into Pharos. We also have to run this twice. The thing is, if this is like a logjam, we can force credits. If it's a Pharos, we can force credits. We force 3 credits if it's a... What's it called? A tree line. But we could install SMC for DZ for free and then run. Go for a dive? I mean, maybe. I don't know if we want to dive with only 3 clicks. I could see it because they probably can't open HQ. We also could just burn our HQ and assume they need a seamless. Like if Faye needs a seamless for this, that's pretty good. We could start with that and just say we don't care. Because this is usually a 5-3, so seamless is necessary. And as soon as you go less than 7 or 6, this is very expensive. Okay. Fly swatter we don't care about. Measured we care about. Event horizon we care about. So now phase on 3. So we can run server 1. This has to be res for less than 3, which means we can get through this thing. So I think we just run the server now. I don't know what this can be. That's ugly. Okay, that's really ugly. We can't do that. Good enough though. Digging the smooth jazz radio host version of Audrey. I mean, maybe this is sustainable. Maybe we do just talk too much. Okay, good to see that. So it's easier to hit lat. Yeah, now we're in Hannah waiting time because we can win with a single deep dive. We want to get this daily cast down and do nothing. Faye doesn't really have the money to push, so like we don't have to do much. Oh, that's good. I forgot that's in the deck. Okay, we just probably do this. Netrunner PR voice. We don't have a lot of NPR here in Canada. Alright, start a turn. KPI unknown. All lines considered. This is an Audrey deck, by the way. No, I don't know that. Oh, I know what NPR is, yeah. So no stress. We just don't get it in Canada. Yeah, Onakamer in the bottom, Audrey's in the bottom. They're on 7. This tree line advancing at once actually is not annoying. But we have not much to do here. Yeah, we can just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Like just siege. That's good. We'll probably have to get rid of this. There's nothing worth getting with this thing, I don't think. We have no cup. We have no tech pressure cards. Vulture Fund, we have bad publicity. Okay. 16. We haven't finished booking worlds. Congratulations, Milanomi. Excited to see you. Okay. So have a Hannah. We drop a propeller, we can run this. We probably can't run it twice, but simultaneously we actually can run this twice. We may be able to just run this twice. We drop propellers free. We break this. If it's a Pharos, we can't. We can only break 8 strength. You can off turn for Cole and 1 card closer to uncommon spec work. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe it is because we're going to waste this anyways, but with Cole, we spend 3 credits to get 4 credits. It's better than if we're not trashing it though. I think you're right, Garcia. Like we should have considered it on their turn anyways. Now, they didn't have a seamless necessarily. Yeah, rigging up would be good here, but we can only run it back once, so it doesn't really matter, right? Because if they pop the Event Horizon, we can't do it again. But yeah, if we're going to trash this, we should have just fired it on their turn. Do you mind? So I want to give a real shout out to Drew. I've done a lot of work learning the ropes of distro, but having Drew on board for a veritable industry veteran to help us has been huge. I've only talked to Drew a bit at like world stuff. Drew seems to be really cool. I think Drew's a really smart person. Yeah, so it's +1 credit, but it opens up our MU. The SMC is not super useful because there's nothing else in our deck we really want to get here. So maybe the Audrey, but it doesn't seem great. Drew's the best, yeah. Drew seems really great. Okay. So again, we can do propeller run this. If this is a log jam, it'll come in at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strength. So we could deal with log jam twice. If it's a Pharos, we take a tag. Faye spends 7. I think we're probably just trying to play deep dive. Could be a tree line. I think we ignore this. The question is, how do we get our numbers? So propeller's worth installing for DZ. We could do 1, 2. It's really hard for us to get lat here. Surprised to not see tungsten in the list. Maybe it's not needed. It might not be. No tungsten, no other strength cheating. We need to make sure the last strike fund is something we can hold on to. We could do for free +3. Onicum though goes up 1. Yeah, Onicum's awkward here. We can do 1. So excuse me, go down to 6, 6, 5. Yeah, it's hard to do everything. So I don't think we do. I don't know what we're meant to do here. Would we probably play that? I don't think we can get lat draw easily. Like, the Coalescence has one more card in their deck that works with it, the spec work. Oh no, we have none more. Okay, so it's just for the simul chip, which is fine. You can always simul chip the Gauss though. I wonder if you just challenge them and let them score. Yeah, I'm okay running this. And like if they res it, would clear the tag because we have not much else we're doing here. We just need to have 2 clicks to be able to run back. Onicum buffer, I don't want to spend 6 credits. Show us the Pharaohs. Yeah, fine. So we can't break this unless we want to pay a lot. So we'll just let it fire. The thing is, like, the buffer drive is not super necessary in the matchup because our Onicum's not going to be super necessary. Like, I think I actually throw out the buffer drive. Because, like, we're on game point. Maybe we need the buffer drive for the engine, but, like, I don't know. In terms of the Onicum, we still have a lot of events. Revolver is what we install next turn. It's like buffer drive is probably the worst card in hand. Excuse me. But next turn, I think we do install Onicum Strike Fund and then figure out the turn because they'll probably be on 5 cards in hand. I think I don't need this. The buffer drive is important for the endgame engine, but hopefully, I think we're going to win before that. But buffer drive is really important for the endgame engine. I think the revolver is probably worth playing. I'm going to try this. I would drop a dive. I think we could whiff a dive and not win the game. So I want to keep 2 dives because you can't recur that easily. But like maybe the revolver is worth throwing out. I think the simul chip will be good with the Gauss, the propeller though. Tossing a deep dive less committal. You can grab it with buffer if you need it. Yeah, I don't want to install this though. Because this card's only really good if Audrey's doing something. That's the only way to fire this, and we don't have an Audrey. Oh, fantastic. The game doesn't need Infinite Strike. 2x drive will win, surely? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So they bottomed an SDS, which is good. So they're on 5 credits. We could deep dive this turn if we wanted to. We won't have a click. So we could run R&D and see what happens. Yeah, we're just looking for Hannah. I think we can run R&D here. Because deep diving off of the tree line is cheap. This also shuffles the deck, which is pretty good into what they're doing. Flagship, Masquerovka, Fly Swatter, Pivot. Okay. We're going to get our... Oh, we're not going to get our draw. We could win if we steal 5-3 here. Okay. All right. So we shuffle the deck and get a Let Them Dream. So we're not on threat. We're measured. We'll still Let Them Dream. Pass. Maybe not a good turn. So there's the hedge fund. They did have to shuffle the deck, so the thing they'd bottomed is not there anymore. If they're on Slash and Burns, it's like pretty common in New Vang. That means obviously they're on Basalt. But like we have no good way to run this. This looks like an Antil more than anything. They're on 4 cards. Okay. That's awkward. That's a really good trigger for that. Could be a Spin Doctor. We basically get a free credit if we click for credits, not a Spin Doctor. I think I'm okay with that. We're just waiting for Hannah. Do I get the draw? Okay. This deck is on 3 SMCs. Wild. I haven't seen a deck on 3 SMCs in a while. Ooh, Humanoid. Cool. So running HQ is now valuable, but if an agenda goes in here. That's why you should have installed Revolver instead of Prop. Prop's been really good. Prop's really, really good. The Revolver might not matter. Because like we have a 4 strength echelon. It actually might not be worth anything. I hate that for us. But they didn't push anything in the remote server. Now we have no more HQ pressure in the deck at all. So if we run HQ, we just run HQ to use a propeller. We could have rigging up for prop. I mean, sure, but there's one rigging up and we have 3 propellers, so it's like not a really big concern. Like the propeller was still good on the tree line because we broke it for free instead of breaking it for like 4. Like we have 3 propellers. No, yeah, we must have more than 1 propeller. Oh, we have 1 propeller? Okay, that's actually kind of sucks. I didn't know that. I mean, that's okay. I don't think running this works anyways, because even if we bring up the Pharaohs, we can't run it twice because of Event Horizon, so it doesn't actually matter. Like if anything, we just like recur the Gauss. That's probably better. Okay, 5 in hand. Running HQ here is probably worth something. It's a 1 in 5. They drew a lot. They didn't jam here though. This is expensive for them. I'm assuming the Event Horizon's here, but we bottomed one and shuffled. If we steal an agenda, we have to worry about measured. Yeah, simultaneous for Gauss is better, I think. Well, not better, but it's good enough. So we probably don't have to run here. I think going for a single on HQ is not worth it. I think we just set up. I honestly think we do daily cast credit. We kind of want to play an event, but the steel skin actually is draw 4. Draw 3 when it gets hit. So we go from 5 to 4. So we beat double measured 80% of the time if we have this in our hand. But I think we don't have to do much here. Like maybe we could draw a bit more. I don't know. Shut up, Tron. Yeah, I am talking too much. I mean, there's interesting decisions in this list. Okay. Okay. They did trash. You rigging up revolver. That's good fun. That's a good clean fun. So what does this cost if you flicker the Gauss? Cost 9 to break every time? That's a lot. 7 bolts and revolver seems legit. It doesn't really matter because Echelon's F4. Okay, I'm just going to play this to draw 4. Hand is good. We could pinhole this. What else is still? We can get the Audrey down. We can charge it so it has 2 kinds of counters on it. If able. Oh, never mind. But I think we just play full siege here and hope. I mean, it's kind of ugly. I don't think we have to pinhole this. If it's an Antil and it fires once, it's not the end of the world. Audrey is worth installing. I think we trashed the Coalescence to rig up the Audrey. I don't think there's another target here. Do I get the draw? Bring up Audrey for sure? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Seamless? That's not good. No, that's fine. So we're on threat. Same thing. All right. So on 15 credits, they can probably keep us out. But we also probably can win this turn. So we can start by overclocking R&D and see what happens. We can simulchip the propeller or the Gauss. Echelon's at 5. We always can just like throw out a card to Audrey to cycle on our opponent's turn. We don't have to. But I think we just overclock R&D with ad publicity. Like we have to flush out the Event Horizons. Yeah, the Gauss we can flicker for sure. It's probably better than propeller. Especially because we intend to run the tree line as well. Oh, excuse me. Did I miss something? Or there, I think Faye's thinking. Like maybe there's a lizard somewhere. It's the only reason revolver might be a bit better because the lizard is expensive. Okay, that's fine. So we might have to run this again. We'll see if Faye pops at this turn. Logjam on 5. Okay. So we have to flicker the Gauss. They didn't fire it. Okay. This makes it harder to get lat, but you can always like throw cards at Audrey for fun. I think we just do this. The funny thing is if they do the first measured and it hits a strike fund, like maybe. We don't win. Oh, no, we trashed it, so it's gonna come back. We only see one basalt. So we're on 6 points. We shuffled the deck. But now they can bring the measured back. So they would need a 3 credit econ card. They brought measured back. No. Bummer. So we could play the strike fund. We could click for credit. We could play the strike fund. We're good against one measured. What do we do here? Because this brings us up to 9. If Faye has measured, it only cost 8. The thing is, we would lose our hand here. Our hand is pretty good. I think we just play the strike fund. The thing is, if we play the strike fund, we still lose to double. No, we don't. Should Audrey get extra counters of the thing you trash as a person like Angelique? Yeah, I think so. That makes sense, right? I think he'll love it. I think we just click for credit. I don't think we play the strike fund because if they do the measured, it has a, we hit the strike fund usually and survive the second measured. We could also just like send the strike fund into Audrey. Draw Audrey strike and let lat draw. Yeah, I like that better. Ask. So we can just do this. So that's our last strike fund, unfortunately. But we threw out a buffer drive, so it doesn't matter. Hey, Getlander. Yeah, credit also might have been fine there. We got to draw anyways. So yeah, actually that was better. I think we should just click for 7 and kept the strike fund because the strike fund's a nice little surprise. The problem is like they can just jam in the remote server and we can lose. We have to win off of single accesses now because we threw out the buffer drive. Okay, that's not good. I think we actually get suffocated by Pharaohs. Okay, power draw. Okay, looks like a spin doctor. Yeah, we're not in a good spot here. We have to use this pinhole to find when an agenda's in here and then run the server twice, which we can do with money. I don't think there's anything to do. Audrey counter gets you past Ferris 1 for 4 cards. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you can just use this. Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, you're right. And we just take the tag. We don't care. So we'll run the spin doctor, and then I think we won't do much here. We need to find simul chips. Okay. LTD moment? Yep. LTD moment. Card's good. Deep dive's a lot worse with LTD. Yeah, let's get through Ferris with enough cards. Audrey can too. Yeah. So let's see if they can find time to purge. I don't know if we're going to ritual here. It still draws 3 cards technically. We could have done that first. This is the only card I want is a simul chip. I think we have another daily cast too. But most of their deck is events and an Azimut. We're not going to get our lat draw. Oh no, that's the last daily cast. I think I'm just going to click 3. Yeah, hush would be good. We would actually hush the Event Horizon, not the Pharaohs. But it'd be very good. Okay. You think we can 2 for 1? Okay, so if we get in there, we win. Okay. So we have no simul chip. So if this is another event horizon, we're in an ugly spot. But we can just run this, right? Could be a swatter. Yeah, they threw one out. Could be another swatter for sure. And then we need money, so I think we keep the overclock for the run back. But I'm pretty sure we can just run this. I think we just run this and see what happens. The only thing we could use is more money. So like maybe you do like maybe we should cycle the ritual on phase turn. Tier 4 agenda trick for sure. I mean it could be, but that's fine. If we get in here, we win. I think technically Fly Swatter is the worst card here for us. Maybe even just a big logjam would be annoying because we can't flicker our Gauss. We have 2 simultip in our bottom 8. That's bad. I mean, that's pretty bad, isn't it? So I have to run this Ferris 3 times. I think we can do it. I think we can. We have full information here. So we break this for 2. We hit the Pharaohs. We Gauss it. It costs us. It's expensive. It costs 11. So this cost 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's all of our money. Yeah. No way we can forward this. I know we have perfect information. Just we need to do math. Go lose my mana server 4 agendas server 1 spin into a seamless win. I mean, we know it's an above the law on server 1. I think server 4 is an Antil. Spend 1 to break the trash up and just bounce? I mean, it's likely. We just have to do the math. Because we want to run this to charge the Audrey. So we break this for... We're down to 13. We have to hit the Pharaohs. Again, we have to boost 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to boost 5 times. So it costs 13. So this is all our money. And then we can't even break the second event horizon. So we have to bounce off the event horizon. You can outrun Ferris 3 times. I mean, it's kind of close. No, there's no dives. We played 2. I think this is why we should have played the buffer drive. Simulchip? Yeah, simulchip would help. It's a spin. Okay, we wanted actually a trashable there. So at least above the law doesn't do anything. That's good. That's actually pretty good. Yeah. Should have 1 more credit. Spent the bad pub. Oh, did I spend the bad pub? Oh, yeah, matters. Hey, real quick. Cybertree Battalion fixes this? Yeah, I think Eric was playing that on Monday on the stream. I think Talot's reasonable. Yeah, I think we didn't spend the bad publicity. Yeah. So that's not good because they can jam again. Cybertree, my beloved. We did make a successful run, but they're just taking money here. So I don't know if they're on the 2-1 from hand. Hush is decent. Hush is decent, but you hush the Event Horizon. I don't think you hush the Pharaohs. So let's find our simul chips. Okay, that's good. So if they have fast events, we lose. We could go for singles and HQ. I think if they have an agenda that's safer here than anywhere else, but if they have a 2-1, they have a 2-1. I can't tell their agenda suite because they're on Basalt and SDS. So they're probably on 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I think we know their whole agenda suite. 3 Basalts, 1 SDS, 3 Let Them Dreams, 1 Slash, 1 Above the Law. So I don't think they can win from hand here unless they're on some big deal something. I think they're on 22 agenda points, right? So it'd be 3 Basalts is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And we know they're on an SDS. So they're probably on 2 Slashes is the math, right? It also could be 2 green mails, but I guess we just lose to that. Like maybe we have to run this turn. I don't know. We're always one expansion away from Tillud Cafe deck coming together. You're going to need a lot of connections. The issue is if we call this wrong, we lose the game. And we only have 1 pinhole. I don't think this is an agenda. On 18 credits and a simul chip, they can't make the push here. The issue is like there's nothing else we can run. Like we are just totally locked out by big barriers. I don't think this is the agenda. It's not my read, but I don't know Virtue enough to be like that's the agenda. But I'm pretty sure with a simul chip and Audrey and 18 credits, we can run this server twice, let alone 3 times. The thing is, if it's not, we lose the game. If it is, we win. But we have no expose. My gut says it's not. I don't think it's an agenda. We have 1 more simul chip, so we could run HQ for fun. Could get them to spend the horizons. I mean, you're right. If they spend the horizon, maybe that's good enough for us. We have to spend a simul chip, they spend a horizon. I think that's okay. If only we were playing Silhouette, it'd be really good. It would be really, really good. But a pinhole would be better. I think we can run it once. We can Gauss the simul chip. Because we have 1 more simul chip. Right? Yeah. So I think we can make them run once. I think it's agenda. I don't. But I have no idea. It's hard to say. I think it's bait, but if they pop an Event Horizon, we're good. Like we break this for 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 3. We have to break a Pharaohs. I think we should just use the Audrey counter because if they purge, we don't have the Audrey counter. And we can float the tag. Running it seems like the worst option. Spend the Gauss flicker and it's not even the full turn from it. Well, it is because we can run HQ. Like we can run HQ 3 times, but like we have to win off of HQ or R&D if we can't run the remote server. If they pop an Event Horizon, it's really, really good. Using the Audrey is good because eventually they might purge. They're running on a bait. I don't think so. We haven't seen all the antills. Like they're on, it's a big deck, but there's humanoids, there's antills, there's a Malapert. They have a lot. We have seen 1 antill. I think they have a lot of bait. There might be even on Regolith even. But there's just like no good server to run here. I feel like you're running and hitting HQ 3 times. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think we just use the Audrey, float a tag, and don't care. If it's not, it's a trashable, so we get an Audrey counter. I don't think this is agenda. Oh, but then we're not flickering, whatever. What's in archives? Garbage. Is R&D not worth it? I mean, it's very expensive. You trash 4 cards? Wait, I didn't read the text. Yeah, I guess we're simul chipping the Gauss. Still 9? Jesus, we shouldn't have done this. It's still 9 with Gauss? That's not right. Yeah, it's right. I don't like this. At least we have creative and overclock. Just take the tag. The tag we will take. I'll take a tag, sorry. Yeah, we have no, I don't know if they're going to have retribution. This should have been an overclock run. I don't think so, because they just pop an Event Horizon. I'd rather have this as a surprise. Like if they pop it here, then you overclock back. Like I want to seem weak and then not be weak. Right? Because then they're likely to pop the Event Horizon. You see? So then we overclock later. Because we can do this. I don't think it's bait anymore. Like they're baiting me. Yeah, I don't think it's bait anymore. I think we just do overclock and then we throw out our whole hand. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 Ferris breaks? Yeah, 3 Ferris breaks is pretty cheap. Oh, I did it again. Excuse me. Save one? Yeah, I got that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, no worries, no stress. All right, so they're meant to end the run. Okay, so we can run it. It costs us 4 cards in hand, and that's it. If we overclock it, we have 6 credits. Is not enough. I mean, we could just die to measured. This could be huge bait. That's really funny. We're gonna die to measured. Now, Audrey, yeah, for sure. But we just died a single measured, so if this is anything else, it's such a good play. GG. That's so good. Wait, we don't trash this? No, measure doesn't care. Measure to just make a run. That's so good. Oh no. Yeah, measure doesn't care. Yeah. I guess we have to run HQ here. It's the only line we have. Hold on, actually. Yeah, we have to do an HQ run and an archives run. It's free, which is good. Is there any way we can get to 8 credits? If we do this, we go up to 6. Is this true Netrunner? I mean, I guess. I'm not a big fan of big barriers. That's really funny though. One time. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. Yep. Okay, so we found it. We had to overclock that run. Yeah, I had to overclock that. I might have made a mistake. Yeah. Yeah, there had to be an overclock run. Okay, fair. Feels better. Yeah, it was strictly correct for that to be an overclock because we didn't have the credits to trash it. At least they have 2, so that's fine. That was a mistake. Yeah, so that's the other one. So we're dead anyways. AGG. I think I should trust my gut. Man, my gut is more often right than not, and I don't trust it enough. But I thought there was no way in the world that was the agenda. Because in their shoes, thanks you too. Like in their shoes, that is such a winning line. Because if we buy their plan, we still die to measured. So like they should put something in here 100% of the time, right? Like if it's an agenda, that's the only bad thing they can do. But I don't think they're in a rush to do it. They know that we have to consider running it. If we run it 3 times, no matter what, we die to measured. So the only play, yeah, for sure. So the only play we should have done is on centrals. The problem is like we did not have enough. I do think, and again, I haven't played this deck ever before, that holding onto the buffer drive and playing the buffer drive is right. I think throwing out the revolver was correct in that hand. And then we can buffer drive and play 3 deep dives. I don't know if we got unlucky. I think each deep dive, there was a 3-pointer at the bottom of the deck because it let them dream, which like, if it was an HQ, that wouldn't have changed too much. But yeah, we could have won off of the deep dives. We had 2 single deep dives, unfortunately. Good game. Archives, we'll never know. We'll never know. I don't think they had a reason to throw out cards from archives. Yeah, the buffer drive we definitely should have kept because then we could have grabbed a second deep dive on that turn as well. Because that's a really, oh no, because you have to draw it somehow. So you have to buffer drive on the first overclock to put the deep dive on top of the stack so you draw it with the Anakim, and then we can threaten double deep dive. I think the buffer drive was very, very correct. It was probably the line. Correct. Because then on that run, we could have had 2 deep dives in our hand. So I think we learned that. And I'm assuming against a deck, as soon as we see the Let Them Dreams, we need to land like 2.5 deep dives. So we probably needed a 3rd one. But that run was wrong. I think that run was strictly wrong. On the second deep dive, there were 3 basalts and above the law in the top 20. You definitely got unlucky. Yeah, we got a bit unlucky, but I think we can hedge around it because like our win con is just deep dive. So the buffer drive is definitely worth something. Yeah, interesting. I think that was on us. We definitely could have done better, which is a good learning from a deck for sure. We talked way too much as well. Shay, are you there? I need you to host so I can join your game so it doesn't get sniped. I will hold on here for 5 minutes. Sorry about that. Probably a bit late to the point, but you're exactly an overclock's worth of credits away from being able to save to 1 measured. Oh, you're saying to overclock the first one? I mean, maybe. Maybe that's right. Oh, here it is. Oh my God. Were people just leaving and entering? That's not nice. Oh, yeah. I think you should put a password on that. Yeah, game is there. Yeah, I missed it. Yo, hey. Yeah, we could have played that cleaner for sure. Yeah, it was an interesting game. I do think having a way to beat Pharos makes that so much easier. Learning experience for me as well. I'm so used to Yuko, I forgot Wayland actually wants the opponent on 5 credits on their opponent's turn. All right, LEO 49. I'm assuming it's Big Glacier. Hey, sorry that took so long. So our hand is Sure Gamble Onicom Creative. We have Rigging Up Anacom. Like this hand's sick for efficiency. LEO, the big thing is like, can we deal with the Mersha sooner than later? I hope we can. Measure response makes any deck better, it seems. I mean, it's a win condition in 3 cards, so like, of course. Oh, heck yeah. Hey, heck yeah. Hopefully it's been good. It's a holiday tomorrow in Quebec, specifically. Yeah, that's a really good opening hand. But the thing is, like, we're not going to play every single event because Onicom is once. So on turn 1, we're going to Rigging Up the Onicom, and then that's good enough for our first turn. Rigging Up does work on turn 1. Hopefully no Mersha. Okay, that's good. 3 cards. We can get there probably. No, we're just going to do creative. This hand has card draw next turn and has enough money that I think we can afford to do this. This won't draw, but this will be fine. That's a good second card to draw. You can't forget deep dive against Elio. Yeah, it's a bit tough. Elio is not super common, but it's really hard to deep dive them. So it's going to be hard. Rigging Up is a sick card. I mean, I love the elegance of modded or career fair. The text on this is cute. It just doesn't sit like an elegant card. I don't know why. Got a good dog on it. Okay, we're pushing. Advance? There's not a lot of ice in LEO that hard ends the run, so this is probably a code gate, right? So this is an MIC. Our opponent goes down to 2. That's fine. If it's a Sleipnir, they go down to 4. Our deck has a bunch of cards I can draw into it. The thing is, if it's a Brawn, we want to run here. If we triple click through a Brawn, they trade a Brawn, but trading a Brawn for an advanced card. Some of these decks are running 1 Charlotte. I think we just run this. Cold site server? Why are they bringing that up? That doesn't matter. I think we just run this. Oh, weird. Okay. I've never seen that. Oh no, I've seen some of these. So hopefully we just find one of our, we have 5 cards that break this. That's none of them. Oof, weird. So we have 2 Fractors, 3 SMCs. We're now too late at establishing this. We've also lost Lat. I don't know what they score here. That's an issue. Probably the one that gets a free card, free ice. So I think we just do DZ. Unfortunately, our hand is only events, so we're just going to play the SMC. Doing the DZ and not playing anything sucks, but we'll see what happens here. Use my technique for deep dive against the Elio that I played against Rodam at UK Nat. Step 1, steal 5 points of R&D. I mean, that seems good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. I think we have to play conservatively. They're probably playing bad ice, like scary ice. I guess now the Blade-of is a bit scarier. You may remove a host counter, res up to 2 pieces of ice when the turn ends, de-res 2 pieces of ice. I mean, fine. I think that's fine. Okay, so we can't make any calls of what this deck is because we're in totally uncharted territory. That's fine. We're not gonna get our lat draw. Yeah, I have no read of what this is. Elio, none of the Biroids work off of this besides maybe Thick Shark, Strong Shark. So I have no idea. So much Lightning Labs? Really? Hexnet, how's it going? How much Lightning Labs have you been running into? I mean, fine. We can SMC for a breaker. Okay. This seems like a matchup where we probably want a Revolver. Will I pay 3 for a Revolver and not draw it? Yeah, I will. Cool. 3 hand size. We just drew in our Echelon. That sucks. I mean, okay, we can install an Echelon. That's fine. We can throw out the Azimuth probably. It's not terrible to have. We can install the Simul chip. We've played an event. But we want to install and play 3 cards, which is tricky. And then we just click for credit. Slow Earth Orbital. Most satellites are garbage. Boomy has res DRS text? I know, yeah, it does. It's just not relevant against us. But yeah, Boomy is worth maybe something. I mean, we have to trash it. You don't usually install Resist and take 1 off of it because you could have clicked for credit. It forces us to do something for what it's worth, but I think we'll just grab a Propeller. The question is, do we overclock this? We spend 1, we get a card draw, and we trash for 4. I mean, it's probably still worth it. Double queued into LL the other day, and I played against an AMT last month. Oh, no way. Was it in LEO? Or I'm assuming it's always in whatever that one is I don't like. Yeah, I think we might as well. We have 3 of these. So you can de-res. This doesn't do anything, yeah. This does work on different servers, right? Res up 2 ways protecting the attack server. De-res 2. Oh no, it's only that server. It's not like the other one. Okay. Not much we have to do here. Yeah, Thunderbolt, thank you. I feel like this is causing us to play such passive Netrunner. But like, what else do we do? Find Audrey? I wonder if pulling Audrey immediately is like always the play. I don't think we have anything to do here. We have SMC for Simul chip for SMC if we need to. We've already played an event. Actually, getting a lat draw is fine, so we should creative commission. Yeah, I forgot we're on lat. Can face check pretty freely right now? I mean, we can. I don't have a huge incentive to. They've drawn through. No, we should run HQ. It's just like I think at that point we might as well just burn our HQ. Is Elio's flavor sprint? Okay, so now the whole game is like total random because we can't tell what happened to HQ. Is Elio's flavor that you are the deorbiting a satellite to break the connection? Oh, I don't know. So it looks like they want to push. 5 in hand. I think we just continue to like siege. So we can do Simul chip. We can install an SMC eating our DZ trigger. We can creative commission, get our card draw. I mean, we're not incentivized to do much. Oh, the SMC is probably not right. I think we do the daily cast instead. That's fine. I mean, we didn't have to creative. We already played an event. Flight near Scatterfield annoying, but not losing to run into. Yeah, they're annoying, but it's not the end of the world. What's our decoder? Unity? Have we installed our decoder? Yeah, it's Unity. Another Regolith. I don't think we probably pinhole that. I mean, it's more likely we run it. I think we need to pinhole this for Mersha and like Anoetic and stuff like that. But in theory, this could be the scariest dice in the game. If it's a Sleipnir or MIC, like I don't think we care. But like, yeah, Regolith, huh? Maybe the Azimuth's worth keeping. Cast chips creative, yeah. I don't think we do the creative because we've on-a-com that turn. But the SMC is good to install on a turn where you're not going to use the DZ value anyways. Reg is creeping under the cam. Yeah, sorry, Galehar, I got that. I mean, if they get 9 more credits, is that big of a thing? I think we just like run HQ here. They did just like filter their hand, which sucks, but I think we can just burn our HQ. We can just do a normal run though, because we'll creative. So this can be anything. They can read the biggest ice in the game. Yeah, Hakaro, cool. So we can still just break this. We just can't click through it if they derez something. Derezing a regolith on 9 credits means it'll get more credits. Like it keeps its credits when it derezes. I don't know. Seems like the deck wants to be greedy. When you res the site during a run, you may derez another installed card. I mean, the regolith with this many credits on it is probably worth the pinhole. So we can't click through this. But we can just like take a core damage. We don't want to take core damage as lat, so we'll just break this for 2. So now I think we have to pinhole this. Yeah. So these are the bunch of the derez cards that we don't know all the text on them. We're assuming when people play cards like this, it's because they matter in their deck. So you usually just trash them on site and never learn what they do. But this just does some strength stuff, which like, I'm assuming this deck is on the 3-1. That's going to make me unhappy. So this does help that. This now seems like a lot of money because next turn when they res this will have, like, again, this is a, what is the math? 24 credit regolith. Like, I think we just pinhole it or we just run it. I think we run it and then we pinhole it. I don't think I care about this. You may derez another installed piece of ice if the derez, like, what are they going to derez? The ablative, I guess? Whatever. If this is an MIC, it's a disaster, but we can just grab the Unity. If this isn't a Stego deck, I'll eat my plastic dinosaur. Yeah, I know. And like, I really don't like Stego decks. Oh, wow. Oh, this is going to be a Realic deck too. Oh, I'm not going to enjoy this. Okay, so it's a log jam. I think they're playing all the derez cards that they can. Great. So if this fires, they get 4 credits. It's 3 strength, which is just 1 too many. We could flicker a propeller. We could also go get a Gauss. Gauss lines up good on a Carl turn where we need it. But yeah, if we want to break this and this, the pinhole is just a bit cheaper, I think. I think we can just let this fire. But this is probably playing every single derez synergy card in the game, which, like, not a big fan of it. I think we just let this fire. I need a species. It's a Stegodon. For sure it's a Stegodon. Yeah. No, that's fine. They don't like it? Maybe the dinosaurs are really into it. I wonder if this deck is on ping. Like, how far did our friend here go into it? All right. Audrey's nice. Get the Audrey before pinholing. What about if you pinhole to get the Audrey? That's better because it's more efficient. Am I right? We're just going to play this anyways. Nice. Rigging up Audrey. Even better. Okay. It's worse. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, any unadvanced card is a nightmare for us because it could be a Stegodon. Doesn't seem like they have economy. Now you don't have an Audrey counter. I mean, we'll find it. We can just burn her and click through the card, but like technically we have to run this. This is what I hate. Now this could just be the thing, but if they get the 3-1, like I just want to concede. Like the 3-1 is such a misery engine, and then it costs us like an extra 10 minutes of mental math. So we want to find buffer drive. We want to find deep dives, and we just want to win the game. This could be the 3-1. I think it's more likely to be the Brasilia government grid. This is a check that technically they can always cash with Lightning Lab. This only gets 1 counter. Wow. So we'd have to trash the SMC to rigging up the Audrey. I mean, it's fine. This gets us their Unity though, so we probably could do this on our opponent's turn. Actually, yeah. Do you mind? Do you mind if I do? Oh, sorry. Wow. Not end turn. Undo turn. If you don't mind typing the same undo turn. Stall Gauss, rig up Audrey, run. Stall Gauss, rig up Audrey, run. Yeah, I like that. I think checking it. I think it's gonna be the Brazilian government grid though. I'm pretty sure it's gonna do it. Sorry, undo turn. I messed it up the first time. Thanks. Yeah, we can just SMC for the Gauss. Wait, but Gauss doesn't work because we're doing it on their turn, right? Yeah, you don't want to grab the Gauss unless you're going to do it on our turn proper. So we might miss this window that we like fought to get back for no reason. SMC for Unity? Yeah, but then how do we get the Gauss? I think if we get the Gauss, we just run the server really cheap. So I think we actually don't use this window that we fought for. I think we just do SMC for Gauss for, was it 4 credits? Still not good. Like it's still pretty expensive. We can get the Audrey down, but then we still have to trash this for 3. I think we don't do it. I think we just get the Unity and let this go through. I think it's the Brasilia. Thanks. All right. So we Audrey for 2 credits. We draw a card. They're on 3. We've played an event. We can't easily get Lat because we want to keep our strike funds. We can cycle strike funds, but we want the buffer drive. We have 2 deep dives and a Hannah. All this stuff is pretty good. We could always make a run and see what they force out. Like we have Revolver, Echelon, Audrey. Like our Breaker Suite's good. I mean, running R&D for single if they res ice, I think we're okay with it. I don't think there's anything that punishes us. It's just like I don't want to go for singles. But like 4 strength barrier is kind of annoying. I mean, I'll go for single. There's not much else we're doing. We're installing daily cast, clicking for a credit here. We're not on a threat, so Bladed doesn't matter. I bought Brass and I played a few days ago. It seems like a good game, but it took 3 hours to play. How many players? The more you play it, the faster it is for sure. In theory, you can play a game of Brass 2 players an hour. Podcast pitch Unicum to Audrey. Oh yeah, we can just throw it out. Yeah, we can just throw it. Yeah. Yeah, hey you son, how's it going as well? So again, they can always just res whenever they want, but yeah, okay, they're on everything. Set the ping. So we have a tag. Cool. At least they can't score it unless they have seamless. We could bounce on this. It's a propeller counter, which is not super useful besides the Blade and the ping, but they're just playing every D-res card, so they might not have a focus strategy. We have to clear the tag. We'll pay. Yeah, the game will speed up for sure. It's not a very long game, in fact. If you know what you're doing, it goes fast. I played like half a teaching game. It seemed sick, but I never got back to it. It's a really weird game. Tree line. They're just going to reallocate and make logjams bigger and bigger. I mean, if we had Hush, we'd be in a good spot. Do I get the draw? Yeah, this is the potential nightmare in which they use Brasilia to keep deresing the ping over and over and over again and just say like it's infinite ping. The fact that we've res ice on every server is pretty bad if a Stegodon goes through, but I mean, D-res is prison. Cool, thanks. All right, we can spec work the propeller. It means the simul chip is a bit more awkward, but we have at least a coalescence. Yeah, realloc. I mean, cool. What does this card do? So they just got their money back. So now it's big. Okay. Yeah, an enemy grinder. This looks like total grinder, yeah. All right, so realloc got played. It was a double. So they just refunded the cost of the card and de-resed it, which I don't see why you'd want to do that. And then they got it again. So when it gets resed again, it's going to be on, like, man, play Hush, huh? It's going to have 6, it's going to have like 9 strength. I mean, okay. We in theory could Audrey a strike fund to draw a card. I think we can and should do that. We need to find deeper. Cool, that's good. Yeah, it's a bigger Pharaohs. And before the Corp Hospital get back, yeah. They also de-resed a ping, which I think I forgot. That's also, you know, probably an issue. Gorgeous to boot. Yeah, Brass is nice. Dave, how's it going? Yeah, we need to keep 1 strike fund for the engine. It's just like, this is going to be like, the sprint seemed really important that they're not flooded. It's probably 50-50 to have an agenda in here. Like I probably can just run HQ and double click and not care. Like I think getting a touch from HQ is good. The one card that we saw we played. But I think we can just run HQ. We spec work, we draw more cards. I don't know. I want to just see cards. What's the trigger? Oh, Lightning Laboratory. Yeah, the goat is here. Yeah, we've had some good stuff to say about Dave. That is the Dave chat, by the way. Spec prop and see what comes up. I think we'll do it. Second to Carl. Okay, so we know half the hand. If we spec work this, we have to draw 3 cards, which puts us at 6, which I don't think we do. We can't get the card draw. I think we just install the hand and pass. Played with my brother and it took us 3 hours mostly because we didn't have coal and ready the railroads era. I discarded like 3 or 4 brewery cards and we had a beer deficit. Yeah, beer is really important for the whole table. All right. I don't know why that happened. So there's a Hakarl here. They're in 14 credits. There's 1 card in hand. If this is a Hakarl again, it has no text. Why derez it? I guess they can res this to force us to break the Hakarl. I mean, where are the agendas? Okay, 1 card in hand. We've already onicomed. We could just click for credits here. We could also simulchip on this turn, but I think the simulchip for Gauss will be more important. The issue is like if we don't use the simulchip now, it's going to be harder to use it later. So we could just simulchip for the SMC. No, we're over MU. We could simulchip for the Gauss. We can't. So we probably just simulchip for the propeller. Just run HQ. I mean, if they res this and then derez it, and then we can't click through it. So we take a core damage, which like with Lat, you want to avoid doing. It's not the most important thing. But this is definitely the upgrade. I just think we have to use the simulchip this turn or we're going to be in a bad spot. I think we don't do anything. If we res it, they can bring back a prop. I mean, you're right. We could just and see what they do. Yeah, that's a bit better. I mean, we did it anyways. This doesn't cost them anything to derez, so I think we might as well just see the 1 card. But I don't know whether we should be using our prop. Like, I don't think this deck should go for singles the way we are. We know what the remote is. It's a Brasilia. Yeah, no surprise. So we can't click through this. We'll just pay 2. Wow. How many more Lat draws do we have? Not that many more. So we could run R&D for a single here. Did we play an event? Turn's been long. So this is when you recipes of ice during a run against this server, so that doesn't really matter. I think we just run R&D. This is a ping. We need to clear the tag. This is, we don't know. I think we can run R&D here. This is a Hakarl. This is known. This is known. We're not on threat. They have to jam into here, so I think we have to choke R&D. Like, we have to suffocate R&D. It can't be very expensive. We know we have to clear the tag, though, on the ping. I guess ping into pulse. They're probably on pulse. Ping into pulse might mean we have to float a tag. That could be a problem. Just save it for deep dive. It might be correct. I just want to know the top card of the deck. But yeah, now the propeller counters are not used well. Yeah, I think we should probably save for deep dive. The thing is, like, we need a whole propeller for Hakarl. If this is a pulse, we're in a bad spot. But if it's a pulse, it was rezzed before. Okay, they care about tags. Okay. Oh yeah, they have the ordering on this, so both matter. Okay. So it's cheaper with Echelon. That's a bad card to see off the top. I mean, I can't believe we haven't seen an agenda. I think they sprinted back 2 agendas, but we've drawn through 20 cards, 1 agenda. Yeah, RSC drew 2. Yeah, I think the problem is I'm going for singles and the resources we're expending. This is the issue with these sort of shaper decks. Upgrade on HQ. Okay. It's probably another Brazilian. I think wow. I think I should just not play the game and play passively. I mean, they talked about going to bed, but this game is going to be 40 more minutes, I'm pretty sure. That breakpoint doesn't seemingly matter. Deep dive is better here? Yeah, 100%. We should just be saving up for deep dive. I always do this with a deep dive deck. Okay. Charo, see you after lunch. Okay, that was the top deck. If it's 3-1, we might respectfully concede. So the sprint is in hand. This is an agenda. We know exactly what this ice is, but this is going to be a card we need a hush. We don't have a hush. but it is what's it called? The logjam, which is going to get res. It's going to have 7 strength plus 8, 9, 10. So it's going to be a 10 strength logjam. Audrey doesn't deal with it. Propeller doesn't deal with it. Then we have an ablative that doesn't have text. They can also res it for free, and that gets more counters. Let him spend LL tokens and end the run. Yeah, you're right. The Lightning Laboratory has to be spent, which puts you on 6. So it's not that bad. Yeah, I'm realizing they don't have money. So if we run this, you have to use the Lightning Laboratory counter, which reses this. The problem is when we res a piece of ice here, they can de-res the ping and the Jaguarundi. Ideally, de-resing the ping is like the most annoying thing here. But we could run this, and they end up basically going to 6 credits. Yeah, our deck is really bad into big barriers. We've only played into big barriers today. Yeah, if they use a Lightning Laboratory token here, I don't think we mind. I guess we'll gamble first. Lightning Laboratory post logjam is kind of rude. Yeah, and then this will be 13 strength later. I mean, it's just like play Hush, right? Like that's what we learned today. As that Hush eats this. Yeah, so they're going to use the counter. They have to de-res it, but it's going to get, what is it, 4 more counters? Or 3 more counters? 4 more counters. So they res both of them. The Blade doesn't work. The logjam is now huge strength. They de-res the ping, which is a real cost, technically. But they're just going to get 2 credits from this. And if it's the 3-1, yeah. Time to get Banner out. No, Banner only goes up to 5 strengths, Diogen. It doesn't work. Like, Banner actually is very bad against big barriers. Can you even boost Banner strength? I don't think you can. I think Banner is just, like, bad. Yeah, it's stuck at 5. It's kind of useless. So if we want to break it, it's not possible. We SMC for Gauss is also not possible, so we just let this fire. Yeah, you just hush this, and then the whole server falls apart. Banner plus tungsten. I mean, you're gonna need a bigger tungsten, that's for sure. So we know in hand it's a sprint, which means I don't know what we have to do about that. We're not gonna get lat. If this is a 3-1, we're almost decked out. Like, I don't know if we can win in a single deep dive. We have to steal points from somewhere. They've drawn through nearly half their deck. We've seen one agenda. Like, R&D has to be dense. The thing is, like, going for singles makes sense so we can win on a single deep dive. We still have to remember their LEO, right? Like, I'm going to forget about that because, like, this text seems super irrelevant. But all we've seen is Hakarls, and we haven't seen Boomies yet. But we always could run this. They have to res the ping. We can just clear the tag. But, like, the agenda density in R&D has to be high. Wait, doesn't this have to de-res? Oh, turn, not run. Wow, I've never read that. What is Agenda Suite? No idea. It's probably Lightning Laboratories, Meliasses, and Stegodons. If this is a Stegodon, I'm going to concede, I think. Three Sam, 3 Train, and 1X. I don't think they're on Sam. Sam doesn't work with this Agenda Suite or this Ice Suite that well. Well, it sort of does. But yeah, we have to win on singles. Because like 2 deep dives probably won't do it. We know there's a buy road on HQ, there's a buy road on archives, so like deep dive is not in a good spot. Yeah, we just don't make a lot of value running for singles, so I don't know if we can. I think we just continue to do the thing. Okay. So they have to de-res 2 cards on the server, so it has to be the logjam ablative. We have no idea what server 1 is. There's a sprint, so again, full random what's going on. They're just going to keep the agendas in R&D, I guess. But they didn't just triple advance, which is good. They drew into RLC. Again, we've now gone through 27 cards? No, that's not right. Yeah, 27 cards. We've seen 1 agenda. Server 1 still could be an agenda, I guess. Okay, Ice on HQ. Isaac is sliding. Again, I want to just run R&D for single. Like, they don't really have the money to cash any check here. You need Isaac to keep moving constantly. I'm assuming it's on Stegodon. If a Stegodon goes through, though, I think like I have no interest in playing the game. Okay, so the thing is they don't have money. So we actually can run server 1, right? The only thing they can run server 1's an ablative. Why don't we just run server 1 here? Yeah, I think they might have, I don't want to say overextended, but it seems like we can run this. We need to get our buffer drive down so we get the infinite strike fund engine. We have one more strike fund. Oh no, this is the last strike fund, so we have to be very careful about it. The influence doesn't work for an enemy. Did you count? I haven't counted yet. So let's see what this is. I mean, maybe it's a Managarm. But there's no tricks here. If they res an ablative, they might, but that's again half their money. If they res the ablative, we can probably just charge the Isaac as well. Okay, so Brasilia can give us 4 strength. Actually, that's annoying. It's only for the run though. So we can just jack out and come back. I think you can dive this turn. A bit too late for that. But that's the problem with these abilities is they're only one for that run usually, so we can just jack out and save credits. Like some of the D-res cards give the opponent a lot of ability to interact with it because we just run back. In fact, it probably is right to overclock this. Sorry. Hannah? Oh, Hannah might be better than the overclock, yeah. I mean, our money's not amazing, and we're guaranteed to get at least 4 credits from this, but yeah, I could see Hannah being better. And the fact that we can't Hannah on this run makes this overclock a bit worse. Prop. But I'm assuming we're trashing like 5 credits worth of stuff here. Spin, okay. So at least no agendas are going back. So running HQ is now really good this turn, and they have no money. That's good. We're gonna get a lat draw. They shouldn't be able to res most of this. Like maybe an ablative. I'm surprised we haven't seen a pulse yet. We just run HQ twice. There has to be agenda somewhere. Okay, that's good. So now we can win off of a single deep dive, but it's still really hard with Melias. They have no money. Like they need a Regula to stick, but unfortunately this like, you know, the 13 strength ice does cost them 6 credits to res. Okay, so we know this is a Jaguar, which cost them, not Jaguar, a Hakara, which cost them 5. So I think we just run HQ here. With Audrey and Simulchip, we should be in a good spot. We could even burner. I think we do burner here. Because we probably can win this turn. Money is tight. Yeah, burner to force LEO. Yeah, if our opponent reses the Hakara and just throws it at us, like who cares? And there's not much they can afford to de-res. It's just hard to use the Audrey. Our hand is really good. The thing is like we'll just bring the propeller back. So again, anything with counters on it has +2 strength. Doesn't have to be an advanceable ice. Yeah, 6 strength Hakara, but they're bankrupt. So we can't double click through it. So I think we just do this. Install buffer first. You think? Oh yeah, I could see it. Okay, so there's a Melius on top. We put that on R&D. We can run R&D for sure. They have no money. So this goes on R&D. We break R&D still for not much. There's a logjam, which we don't care about. There's a hedge fund, which I guess we care more about. Logjam is only mean with other stuff. If they throw Isaac at you, it might be a buy. Yeah, they didn't throw Isaac or the Hakara, which is surprising. We know R&D costs us 1 credit to run, so we'll put that there. Hedge fund seems more important. They have RLCs, they play 2, but I don't know how they get quick money. I guess it's the Realix, but I don't care about the logjam. The hedge fund will put on the bottom. Yeah, they could have stopped that with Isaac, even or the Hakara. So we can still win this turn, I think. This is a ping. This Jaguar costs us 1. Second subroutine doesn't matter. And the fact that we know our 2 Melias's is pretty good for us because we can just deep dive this turn and hope for the best. Beta steal. Okay. So do we Hannah run archives? It means we went on anything but the last Melias. I'm not a big deep dive player. Do you go for it here? Again, I think we know most of the agendas are still in R&D and we get to see a full 8 cards because the top of R&D was known. I'm assuming we do Hannah run archives, right? And then we went off of a single. Okay, thank God. They're on salvo as well and send a message. So I think the reason that they didn't find agendas is because they're on as many 5/3s as they can. So I don't actually know if they're on Stegadon. Salvo, we'll take the salvo. Steal a good game. Yeah, one good turn is what we need. Yeah, I thought you'd LEO that burner there. For sure. Okay. Okay, so they're not on Stegadon, I'm pretty sure that's good for us. Yeah. Even if it whiffs you have a second one, yeah, but it's so much harder against LEO. Thanks to game, would like to know how to fix this deck. Oh, ooh. I think that's a hard conversation because inherently D-Res ice is not often an easy path to follow. Well, I wouldn't exactly say that. I just think you want to focus on maybe one or two D-Res things instead of playing every single D-Res card you can, right? Like you have the ping stuff, you have the advanceable ice stuff. They are a lot of disparate packages. Yeah, so like I don't know. I don't like D-Res, so it's not really interesting. A lot of these cards are like hyper situational. Like the reallocate, what did it do? Like we spent 2 clicks to like basically get 3 advancements and reset a ping, which I don't know if that's great. They definitely was an overextension to some extent, right? Like that turn going down to 0. And that's the big issue is like cards like Lightning Laboratory. Classically, these cards were off-world office and gaining 7 credits was like, I would say strictly better than getting that res for that one turn. Yeah. Are you on Stego? The thing is, I don't want to encourage Stegadon. Hey, cheers. Hey, cheers. Thanks for the game. Like Stegadon, unfortunately, is the one piece that is so messed up that does help a lot. Because it is an econ card and it allows you to do all this stuff without requiring all these extra pieces like Lightning Laboratory and Brasilia. Oh my god. Oh wow. Oh, Stegadon Mark IV. That's I think the strongest D-Res enabler in the game. But as a caveat, I detest playing against it. Yeah, so it looks like they don't even know what the card is. So that's going to be a fun discovering for them. Yeah. Yeah, they did overextend a bit, but like the thing with this deck is how slow you have to play to not overextend is really, really, really difficult. It's really, really hard. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Or backroom deals, they must be a Myoshu deck. I don't think they are. I think we know the influence. I think if they're playing this, they're probably on greasing because like this deck needs all the economy you can get because the D-Res cards are not economically like strong. Hey, enjoy the rest of the holiday. Dagon reminds me of False Sleep where the minute it gets scored, the game feels really messed up. But it's not only like really messed up, it's like annoying. It's genuinely hyper annoying to be forced to redo the math on everything all the time. Heaven forbid 2 of these get scored. And the fact that now we're interacting with negative integers in our math, it's like, it is such a physical pain. Like, I would rather not play the game and then have to do the math. Okay, if I run this first and then this gets deres, I have to run this server. Audrey will be on -2 strength. This will be on +1 strength. If they're playing like what's it called, Thunderbolt, then it has +1 strength on the res. Like it's so frustrating the amount of like stuff we have to worry about. Laura posted a BTL reallocate, and I think Sleeper posted LEO reallocate. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why you play this. Again, it's an economy card that's clumsy because it requires a board state, which means its payoff has to be really good. And so far, the best payoff we've seen, I think, is like getting more counters on your what's it called, on your logjam. And if that's the case, like I'd rather just play Treeline, I think. Now you need to apologize to the local meta. Yeah, multiple stegs also stacks, and it's an econ card, right? Like, it's just so annoying. Like, it's already a pain point in Netrunner of how much integer math you have to do. I'm relatively good at integer math, but some people like the math is the least fun part in Netrunner. And then having the entire archetype be like, how difficult can we make the math for you? especially because it's also like sometimes small increments. Like small increments get really annoying. Like Thunderball doing +1 is like not enough to really care about, but it is the thing that you can forget about. But like +1 strength is so trivial, but it also is sometimes the most impactful when your math is slightly off, right? Like if Thunderball, and I think Safer was talking about this on a measure response. If Thunderball but said +3, you would remember it. Their deck is probably better than Thunderball. It probably isn't. Actually, I do think LEO gives you a bit of consistency. If heaven forbid there's an HB identity that gave you money. Realizing my math is 1 off is the best for a Netrunner. I mean, I hate it, especially when it's combined with Thunderball playing some of the worst face checks in the game inherently. Like that's frustration on top of frustration. Man, we streamed for 3.5. I do not feel better than when we started. It has nothing to do with D-Res. I've just been under the weather and I'm always overextended. Did they ever use LEO? No, but they forgot. If they used LEO on that last turn, they would not have lost. That seemed like a really good LEO, but they forgot because they didn't use it all game. But they had Byroids on both 2 centrals, so it's good for them to do it. Yeah, but yeah, the deck had like core damage in it. It had tag punishment. It had a lot, and one of the hardest things is like making D-Res work while having economy. Yeah. Drink some tea with honey and rest proper. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to. I'm out of tea. I'm onto water. I think we're gonna call it there. If all things are good, we'll be back on Thursday to do a stream. We'll probably be in a better mood and higher energy. So thank you for your patience. Apologies for last week where we just didn't show up. We did some streaming later in the week and it was probably a mistake, but I just need to get better sooner than later. So we might have to rest up, but I assume we'll be back on Thursday. I think that's mostly it, huh? Splatting on a 7th strength Cloud Eater, not being able to do Chisel Devil Charm has some painful games. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, like I'm okay with Devil Charm getting caught out. That's fine, but you know what I mean? Speaking of HB econ ideas, would it be engineering the future style ID be balanced at the second install? Make it a lot harder to 1 install per turn. I mean, that would be cool, Hexnet. The issue is like that would pigeonhole you into asset spam pretty hard, huh? The thing is like, I don't know if that's a good asset spam ID, but anytime it says install 2 cards a turn, it's usually asset spam that wants to do that. It'd be cool if you can plan your turn to be like, this turn I don't install, next turn I double install. That's definitely worse, but it'd be way more interesting. Huge thank you to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid. So we can do content like this, whether it's streaming, video work, all this sort of stuff takes time and money. And I'm so grateful to all these names here. And of course, our daily cast patrons. If you want to support the channel, you can always find a link in the Patreon. Any amount of contribution is incredibly appreciated. Otherwise, if you want to just take a second to leave a like on the video, leave a comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff helps a heck of a lot as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's been the last weeks. It's been like dreary here. I've been at home alone and like not being able to hang out and stream. Like it feels bad. It feels really, really bad. So I think we probably have to take some time to rest up and get back to it. But thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. I missed Tuesdays. Trust you're all well. If you have more Megacities this weekend, we are coming up to the end of the Megacity season. So hopefully that's been good. But we'll return on Thursday. We have a deck list of the week, which it'll be okay, I guess. And then we'll figure out what else we're going to play. That's mostly it. Take care of yourselves. We'll catch you in the next one.